Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the final day of round number 1 of the Winter 2021 Super Mario Galaxy Any Percent Luigi Tournament. My name is Steakinator. I will be your commentator for this evening, this afternoon, this morning, wherever abouts and whenever abouts you may be. Today's match, as you can see on your screen, will be between Breadghost and Marlin. Marlin seems to be wanting to play Super Mario Sunshine at the moment. Bit of an interesting choice, but it's definitely the faster speed game all around. So we're going to be getting going in just a few seconds here. I will let the racers know that it's game time. Apologies for the delay. Had a little bit of issue getting Marlin's stream set up, but now that he's on the overlay, we should be good to go, I imagine. All we need him to do is stop playing Sunshine for a little bit, and I think we can get this race started. Or he can hop right on into Gelato 1, that is all the same with me. I will have you know this is the second race I've commentated today, so, you know, maybe the faster we could get this done, the better, but... Intend Marlin, get out of there. Alrighty, Marlin's hopefully heading back on over to SMG. The race room has been started. The players will be getting going very shortly here. Of course, because of stream delay, it will take just a moment, but we are definitely getting going. Of course, Breadghost is more than happy to play Sunshine. It is the better game in his eyes. So, for those unaware of how Galaxy works, usually you play as Mario. However, after collecting all 120 stars in the main game, Luigi is unlocked. Luigi moves faster, he jumps higher and longer. He's a little bit slipperier on the floor, but those are all factors that we can mitigate. It looks like Breadghost started about a second early, so give me about a moment to try and sync this up a little bit. It takes a little bit of experimenting on my part. So give me just a moment to try to sync the players as best I can. I think that is a pretty good setup. Yes, sir. Okay. So as I was saying, yeah, Luigi, a little bit faster, runs longer, and runs faster, jumps higher and longer. A little bit slipperier on the floor, but all in all, a much better character for the speed game, we all like to believe. Just because he skips about a 5-minute animation at the very start of the run, which details how Peach gets kidnapped and taken away this time. So right away, we're going to head into the first level of the game, the Gateway. This is a quick tutorial level to teach you the basics of platforming. Breadghost with about a 115 catching these 3 bunnies. Marlin not too far behind with about a 122, if I was paying close enough attention. This is the only part of the game where we don't have access to the game's main sort of gimmick, the spin, which the best girl Rosalina will give off right now. Marlin having a little bit of trouble getting up there, but nothing a simple backflip can't handle. This game is very story-based, at least in terms of Mario games anyways. So the first sort of 10-15 minutes of this run is mostly just going to be cutscenes and dialogue and all sorts of stuff that most of us can't read unless we know how to read Japanese or Korean. Speaking of, those are two of the main differences between these two runners in terms of what they're actually running. Marlin is running on the 3D All-Stars version, which is why he has Korean text, whereas Breadghost is on the Wii U, for which there was no official Korean release. So Japanese is about as fast as you can get on that. So you'll see Marlin benefiting from very slightly faster text and very slightly faster loads. But in general, Breadghost here does have the faster PB. I'm not exactly sure on the times, but you should be looking for him to be the favorite here. I believe Breadghost has 224 to Marlin's 259. Citation needed on that one. So this level does a fairly good job of teaching you the sort of basics of the platforming. Nothing really too extraordinary to talk about, except for the section that Breadghost is coming up on. After he finishes this planet that he's about to be slung over to, once he goes inside, he's going to have a trick that's actually quite frame-intensive. There's a 4-frame window for a trick that he's about to be pulling off. Marlin corrects me, 249, thank you. So you can see that green pipe at the bottom of that planet down there. Breadghost is going to be heading into that, and ideally he's going to press A within 4 frames of hitting the ground, and will launch himself out of a text box. So let's take a look. He goes in, bounces right out. Love to see it. So if he didn't do that, the Luma would talk to him. He'd be talking about how the Grand Star in here is powering some sort of machine. We never figure out what it does. We don't really care. And all that we got to do is power these flip switches, turn it off, and we are good to go. Marlin, hot on Breadghost's heels, heading inside the room. He does not go for the jump, and as you can see, there is going to be a series of text boxes here. But regardless, we do see Breadghost finishing gate first, getting about a 410. Not too shabby at all. So over the course of this run, the racers will be collecting 60 stars of both the Power and Grand variety. What Breadghost has right now is the Grand Star. Most stars are going to be Power Stars. Collecting 60 of those will unlock the 3rd Bowser fight, and upon completing that, we will have so-called beaten the game, and we will be good to go. This will take about 2.5 hours to a little under 3, depending on who's playing. So if you're looking to settle in for some fine entertainment this evening, you have come to the right place. I hope I can do a good job of guiding you all through this lovely journey we are about to embark on. I should probably find more filler things to say, because coming up here is about another minute of dialogue for both players, as Rosalina, the best girl by the way, talks about her predicament, why this ship is in such bad state, and why they're just chilling here, their overall goal, game plan, quests, yada yada yada, who cares? It's a Mario game, who plays Mario for the story? Alright, we finally have some game plan. Breadghost end as he heads over to the first dome. We're going to be getting all the worlds from here, flying to all the galaxies, collecting all the stars. You know how the game is played. Or maybe you don't, in which case I'm here to tell you. So Breadghost is going to be heading on into the dome, going for the first galaxy of the game, Good Egg. It's another very nice tutorial teaching you a little bit about how gravity works in this game. All of these microplanets have their own gravity fields. They interact in really cool ways and allow for really awesome skips, as I believe that this level shows off pretty well. These starting levels tend to be pretty simple in nature, but they have some pretty tight platforming that can actually make them a little bit difficult. The early game of Galaxy is definitely a lot harder than the sort of middle and partially late game. So you see Breadghost flinging that cursor around. He's going to be trying to collect, over the course of the run, 1,400 star bits. Trying to get 3 different Hungry Lumas fed, and we'll talk about those later. We'll actually be introduced to them in the next level, but I suppose I shouldn't spoil that too soon. So coming up here is one of those nice little gravity field skips. Instead of taking that plant and killing it to get a vine, we're just going to jump right on up to the next planet. Something very similar here. We're going to get on top of this rock launcher thing, and we can spin on over to the next planet as well. So like I said, that's kind of going to be the basis of many skips in this game, just trying to get into the next set of gravity and make our way along. All nice and easy. It is worth noting that collecting starbits is definitely a lot easier on the 3D All-Stars version. The pointer that Marlin has is slightly larger in terms of its hitbox than the one Breadghost has. In addition, it sometimes picks up starbits through walls. So that's a little bit of a long-running joke in the community. If you ever need starbits and you're playing on 3D All-Stars, just point at a wall. So as Breadghost heads on into the boss fight, it's pretty straightforward. You hit the tail 3 times, the boss falls over and dies. Actually, I guess it's 4 times, because one time you gotta break open the shell, right? But nothing that Mr. Ghost can't handle. Marlin, despite how much he was apologizing, is about 30 seconds behind. So here we have yet another tutorial. This game loves to show you tutorials, especially at the beginning of the game. So it makes it kind of awkward because the early game in this run is actually kind of difficult, but it's also kind of slow because there's all of these text boxes and cutscenes and nonsense that we really don't want to go through. Marlin taking a little bit too close to the boss. Dino Piranha is the name. Accidentally colliding with the thigh. Gonna lose about another 5 or so seconds from that. Very nice job from Breadghost, throwing out the starbits fast. You want to throw 5 starbits into the brown Luma there, Polari, in order to advance this. And it can actually be kind of annoying sometimes, depending on how good your aim is. But regardless, this will give us our first look into Hungry Lumas. They're a big mechanic of this game, and they're the main reason why we collect these starbits. As I said, we're going to be collecting 1,400 of them over the course of the run. However, in this level alone, we're going to need to be collecting 100 of them to feed that guy right there, that gluttonous little lad. He's going to do something pretty interesting when he gets 100 starbits. Definitely not what you'd expect from a children's game, but hey, here we are. So yeah, this level, pretty straightforward in terms of its actual like platforming. It's mostly just the starbit routing that's made this as annoying as it is. You can see Breadghost shooting the blue circles down there. If you shoot them instead of spinning into them, they drop 3 starbits instead of 1, so you kind of double your starbit investment. And a nice little Luma bounce to get into the star. Nice little piece of platforming there from Breadghost. Marlin also getting through the tutorial nice and easy. He's going to be heading into Good Egg 2 himself. Now, I don't exactly know what route Marlin is playing. I will know, probably, after this next star. I'll be seeing Breadghost missing the launch star. What's going on there? I saw him shaking pretty vigorously, but he just kind of didn't trigger the launch star. He's got to go into this next one. That actually costs a fair amount of time, because getting into that other launch star that he passed right through would give him an additional 10 starbits. So here he's going to have to really make a wide turn around to try to find more starbits. That is a really strange time loss. Definitely not what you're expecting from somebody of the caliber of Breadghost, but in a tournament setting, anything can happen, I suppose. Narrowly avoiding that Goomba. He's on 1 health. Breadghost Y, that's it. Shake harder. I want to see that arm nearly falling off, my guy. There we go. He's into the star. He's off. We are making our way over. That's the chance Marlin needs. Trying to get a homing ground pound to home in on that Luma into the star himself, just like that. Nice and easy. Yeah, definitely not the star Breadghost was looking for, but thankfully he still maintains a pretty sizable lead, so all is well. Breadghost has fantastic movement. He's a member of the so-called Old Guard. He's still playing on the Wii U instead of many people playing on the Switch. He's also still using only one controller instead of many players moving over to 2P. That's a discussion I don't really feel like getting into too much, but essentially there you can attach a second Wii remote onto your first one, and it gives you a whole bunch of capabilities. Collecting star bits, doing weird jumps, freezing enemies, all sorts of fun stuff. But Breadghost ain't about any of that. He's just about clean, sleek gameplay. Sliding his way on over to the Hill Planet after the star bits and the Hungry Luma is fed. There's really not too much to talk about with this stage. It's just kind of platforming. Ooh, Breadghost kind of getting clipped on the edge there. There's kind of a chance that he might have gotten snipped there by the Crusher, but thankfully he's good to go. And into the star. They want you to collect the blue star chips, but anybody got time for that. Marlin with a certified 3D All-Stars camera cancel right there. One thing I suppose I should mention, when the players land out of a launch star, you're going to see them enter first person and exit it very quickly. What this does is it kills an animation that Luigi makes when he lands. It allows you to get moving right away, and it saves about a second, half a second each time. The problem with the Switch is that the camera is on a joystick, so sometimes you'll go into first person, and when you try to pull back to get out of it, you kind of go to the side, and then you just kind of stay in first person for like a second or two. It's honestly super, super frustrating. As a Switch runner at the moment myself, I can attest to just how annoying it is. So Breadghost heading into the third Good Egg level. He's going to need to do this stage to get more star bits, because the level requires a whole lot of them, or I should say the route requires a whole lot of them. And you can collect about 70 here, if you have good pointer discipline, which Breadghost definitely does. Breadghost is a veteran of the Super Mario 602, so he plays a whole lot of 120 stars. And if you think that any percent requires a lot of star bits, oh boy, you are in for a treat. So it looks like Marlin is looking at a slightly older and slightly simpler route. So Marlin is only going to require 1,000 star bits for his run, so slightly more manageable than the load on Breadghost's table. Ooh, Breadghost quick spin bonk on the edge there. A little bit awkward. It also looks like Marlin heading into Honey Hive 1, taking a hit from the boulder, no big deal. He's going to be skipping a large portion of the level. He's going to be sliding his way on over to the bottom. Breadghost, oh boy, there's a lot going on here. Who do I focus on? Alright, so Breadghost is going into a boss fight. What he did there is called Bridge Skip. As you can see, it skips a bridge, not too much to talk about there. Pretty tight long jump because there's an invisible wall there you gotta make your way around, but of course, the platform is large enough to accommodate you either way. So as he takes on the boss, I will leave him to do that. Marlin on his way across Honey Hive. This introduces you to the Bee Mushroom, a pretty underwhelming power-up if you ask me. Doesn't really do anything. It gives you the ability to fly, but the amount of height you get from the flight is like the same as a triple jump, so who cares? It seems like it was mostly included just to like justify the existence of Honeycomb, which, I don't know, I'm not a fan of, but, you know, it's all good. Very nice fight from Breadghost, taking advantage of so-called weak spins, where you spin even though you're still on a cooldown for your spin, but you still have the hitbox. Making short work of the boss there, King Caliente, as he's known, a very spicy individual. So we're going to see Marlin finishing up Honey Hive 1 here, collecting 5 star chips off the Queen's body, curing her itch, and he's going to head on over and collect the star. Now, Breadghost is also going to be entering Honey Hive 1 now. It's a mandatory level. Kind of have to do it. Although he's going to be doing it very, very differently. Marlin went through the level, which is, of course, completely reasonable. Breadghost is going to be going for what's known as Tree Skip, where he's essentially going to be doing a little bit of tree climbing, skipping over the entire level, and ideally saving somewhere in the ballpark of 40 seconds. over what Marlin did. Marlin is going to be kicked back to the front of the observatory. They're going to talk about the toads arriving, those toads that you saw at the top of the tree. They've made base at the observatory as well. I have no idea how they got here, because their ship hasn't been built yet, but, you know, it's Galaxy. They do what they want. So you can see Breadghost already taking a wildly different route than what Marlin was doing. Ooh, not a very nice spin bonk there. That is probably the least satisfying thing in all of Galaxy, one of those kinds of wall kicks. There he goes. He's up on the tree. As I said, ooh, he's going backwards. Yikes. That can happen sometimes. Slopes are a little bit weird. And you can see him doing what's called slope climbing, where he's able to jump across these slopes that you're normally not supposed to. Taking a jump over to the tree, a little shallow, doesn't quite get it. He jumped a little early and wasn't quite able to change his direction fast enough. That is a very difficult trick, and is definitely the reset point for many strong runners, even as good as Breadghost. Marlin's going to be taking a very similar approach up there for the second Honey Hive level, which does actually take place in this area normally, so... Breadghost's having a lot of trouble getting into the tree. Those... I don't know what they're called. They're not spin bonks, but those, like, not wall kicks. They are honestly so frustrating. I understand what he's going through. That jump looks much better. Very strange angle, but, you know, we make it work. You can see Marlin getting up here in much the same fashion. He's going to be taking this launch star here and doing a little tower skip. Now, normally you're supposed to come out here, you're supposed to navigate around these two planets, go back down to the sort of structure that's built on top of the tree, and there's a little obstacle course for you to take there. But if Marlin understands his strats, he's going to be making his way down to this log over here. Yes, sir. Wall kicks off, and he's just going to try to fall right on top of the tower. Going to be pretty close, and lands right, almost on the Mandibug stack. I'll give it to him. Now this boss, can't even really call it a boss. It's just two Mandibugs. Just ground pound it, lol. Oh, sliding off it. A little awkward, but there you go. Gets it the second time. And Marlin is through Honey Hive 2. Now, remember, Breadghost did an additional star in Good Egg, so just because he's only entering Good Egg 2, or excuse me, Honey Hive 2 as Marlin enters Honey Hive 3 does not mean Breadghost is behind. Quite the opposite, I would say he's actually a little over a minute and ish ahead. Well, I'll say a minute, just to be safe. So Marlin's gonna go into Honey Hive 3, a little bit of lag issues, but it looks like that's been solved. This will give us yet another boss fight. Oh, Breadghost's having a little bit of camera issue. You want to turn around and grab the M to collect the star bits, because those are just free star bits while you're moving. But of course it can sometimes lead to a bit awkward scenarios like that. Now, instead of doing that tower skip, Breadghost is going to be going for pretty much the same movement that he went for in Honey Hive 1, where he's going to be trying to get on top of this tree. Still having issues. How do you... Oh, man. I really want to know how you negate those, because I feel Breadghost's pain getting those not wall kicks. You can see Marlin over there heading on over to the boss, Bugaboom. The level itself is pretty straightforward. You gotta use the bee mushroom to get across. The boss itself is also pretty straightforward. It's just a Mandibug that you ground pound 3 times, and it can fly. There you go. Breadghost taking out the Mandibug stack, only 2 ground pounds, and he's got the star. So you can see this boss, pretty straightforward. You get the bee mushrooms, so you're able to keep above it, and just ground pound when it comes under you. Nothing too complicated here. We're going to see Breadghost going into it. He's going to try to do it without the bee mushroom, which is slightly faster, but of course much, much harder. Marlin taking 2 times to get on top of the Dandelion. Isn't quite able to get to Bugaboom in time. And this time he does have it. That's Bugaboom finished. Breadghost's going to be making his way over there as well. As I said, he's going to try to do it without the bee mushroom. Like I said, the Bee Mushroom's flight only gives you about as much height as a triple jump, so we're going to be seeing Breadghost doing a couple of triple jumps instead. Like I said, faster, but a lot harder to execute. Got to bounce off the bee's head for optimal movement, of course. As much animal abuse as you can do in this video game, you want to do. So later on, we're going to be abusing more bunnies, bullying some penguins, all sorts of fun stuff. So now Marlin is going to be showing off the first motion control mechanic of the game, the Manta Ray. I think this is one of the ones that is generally better received. Manta surfing is quite a lot of fun. Maybe not so much in a speedrun setting where you gotta be super precise, but I definitely think it's one of the better ones that they've introduced. So Breadghost had to use the bee mushroom to clear the gap there. There is a way to do it without, but it's absolutely ridiculous, and I don't want anyone to do it. But you see here, as he goes for the second hit, he's going to be walking into that body of water to remove his bee mushroom, trying to avoid the bomb, jumps over it quite gracefully. And as I said, gets a triple jump up there. And now, if I know Breadghost, he's going to be running off to the right very fast. He's going to be trying to make a super, super tight cycle, where he gets a triple jump up to Bugaboom and stomps him super early. Very nice. There's a sort of easier strat where you can just kind of wait for him in the starting area, but this gets to him about 3 seconds faster. So Breadghost clearly not messing around today. So the players have both finished Honey Hive. As Marlin's going to take a lap around the course, you want to see him get a time of in the ballpark of about a minute. Top level runners try to do it closer to 56, 57-ish. But a minute is still perfectly reasonable. Breadghost, on the other hand, is going to be heading into Flip Switch. Probably one of the tightest levels in terms of platforming that exist. Definitely one of the more technical stages. But quite a lot of fun if you pull it off correctly. There's really only one cycle that you can make here. And if you make it, then your time's going to be pretty good. If you don't, then you're losing like 10 seconds because everything is out of whack after that. So there's nothing I can really say about it that will substitute Breadghost just doing it, so I will let him show it off better than I could tell you. Marvelous. And he manages to set up a triple jump so that as the star appears, he's jumping right into it. That is first-class stuff right there. Marlin's going to be collecting this star, and you'll see him moving his way into Flip Switch now. So that gives you a rough idea of how far apart the players are. Breadghost does enjoy the lead right now. And we'll see how this evolves over time. Of course, we are 25 minutes into a 2.5-hour race. There is definitely more action to be had here. So Breadghost going into the first Bowser Jr. level. The end of every dome includes either a Bowser Jr. or a Bowser fight. We're going to be starting off with Bowser Jr. And we are going to be doing something that looks pretty dumb. But we're going to be bridging across 2 planets that are absolutely far away without the help of any launch star. Because that giant robot has the largest gravity field known to man. So why don't we just skip it? Very nice. You can see Marlin having a little bit more trouble making the cycle. He's having to wait for the red spiked lad. Don't know what it's called, but I'm gonna just call it the red spiky thing. And you can see him having a lot harder time coordinating with everything. That's kind of why we want the optimal movement. But of course it's very difficult. Taking a shock at the end, but you can just spin your way on over to the spring, so all is well. Breadghost starting up the fight here. This is pretty simple. You're just going to play Stop Hitting Yourself for a moment, just like you're a grade school bully. Gonna lead the Bullet Bill into the cage, and Megaleg's pretty much gonna destroy himself. You know, as you do. Now, Breadghost recently learned about starbit duplication. So I'm curious to see if he goes for it here. It looks like he does, and we'll see. There are 28 starbits on that stage normally. We'll see how many he's able to pick up. Alright, Marlin not too far behind with the boss fight. All is well so far. So after every Grand Star, there's a little bit of an animation showing how the observatory evolves. All sorts of cool stuff. Let's see how many starbits Breadghost managed to snag. 40. Very nice. I have a feeling he's going to be quite happy with that, given that he usually has... he talked about how he's usually very, very tight on starbits, coming up to the first sort of starbit checkpoint. So I'm hoping this will help him a great deal. Indeed, you need to have 400 starbits by the time you've collected 12 stars, because the 13th star is going to be our first Hungry Luma. And it's also probably the hardest one, depending on who you ask. But there the green lad goes, dashing his way across the observatory. Over to the fountain. Pretty difficult dome, honestly. It and the terrace are both kind of difficult. I'd say the fountain is slightly harder, just due to space junk in general, which is the galaxy we're going to be seeing Breadghost entering. Marlin finishing up Mega Leg, looking good. Going to get a low 29 minutes, I believe. Oh, no. High 28. My bad. 28:55, I think. Yep, 55. Okay. So as Breadghost goes into Space Junk 1, we're going to be seeing one of the more infamously notorious tricks. This is the Polestar Skip. Breadghost is going to want to try to get himself facing backwards when he comes up to this thing, so that Luigi's backwards momentum will carry him all the way to the second half of the level. Very nicely demonstrated there. That skip can be kind of finicky, just because you don't often have too much control over the way Luigi rotates when he's inside the Polestar. So your best bet is to sort of take a setup going into it that sort of works every time, but obviously in a 3D game like this, it can be kind of difficult to have that much consistency. And then Breadghost also showing off what's called a super triple jump, or mega triple jump, depending on who you ask, allowing him to jump into the Sling Star and immediately get to the Silver Star section. This part's just platforming, collecting Silver Stars. Breadghost making it kind of close with a couple of really awkward jumps, but no big deal for him. He's able to slide his way on through. That's 5 Silver Stars. 5 Silver Stars makes a Power Star, and we are out of here. Marlin not going to be too far behind, heading himself into Space Junk 1 as well. I'm not sure if we'll be seeing Marlin go for the same setups. I imagine he probably won't be going for the super triple jump because that thing is kind of finicky. But we'll see if he goes for the Polestar Skip. Now, the second Space Junk level that Breadghost is heading into is really interesting. For the longest time, it's a boss fight level, I should say, and for the longest time, we runners thought that the cycles that the boss took were RNG. However, about a year or two ago, we discovered that they were actually manipulatable. And so prior to the run starting, Breadghost manipulated the cycles. And so when you see the boss going to attack, you'll see her throw nothing but shells. And the reason we want her to throw nothing but shells is so that we can throw the shells back at her and deal damage. Now Marlin having a little bit of trouble with the skip. I think that was 3rd or 4th try. So fair enough, there he goes. Like I said, very difficult trick to do consistently. I do not blame Marlin at all. And as expected, he's going to be breaking open the toads. Yep. So if you break open the toads, you get a cute little star shroom. And that will lead you up to the Sling Star. So no worries there. So we're going to see what Breadghost... I'll show off what the cycles look like now. I know for a fact that Marlin did not set it up because he was too busy playing Sunshine, but we will see... you'll be able to see the difference once Marlin gets there. So try to keep what Breadghost is about to show off in your mind, and we can compare. So here goes Camilla. Going to be throwing a shell right away. Breadghost going to be throwing it right back at her. Ooh, Marlin almost spin bonking to his death there, but thankfully managing to catch a ledge grab. He has all of his silver stars now. We are good to go. Very nice job from Breadghost. So you saw 2 shells in a row there. And of course he brought the shell for the phase, the first phase with him. So you can see Breadghost enjoying just about a 1-star lead, which is somewhere in the ballpark of 2.5 to 3 minutes, depending on the star. Marlin now heading into Space Junk 2, and then if I recall Marlin's route correctly, he will be heading into a different star than what Breadghost is doing, so the routes are going to start to diverge here a little bit. Breadghost has to head into the 3rd Space Junk level. That is what actually unlocks the Hungry Luma that we'll be doing next. And it's also a great source of star bits, so... Alright, relatively quiet time, so I'm able to take a breath. So yeah, not too much interesting stuff happening. Breadghost is going to be coming up on a cute little skip here. You can see that launch star is inside the glass, but by crouching and spinning, you can sort of lower your hitbox into the glass a little bit, and it gets just low enough that the Polestar picks it up, or the launch star, excuse me, picks it up, and you're able to fly out as if you were inside the whole time. Really, really cool stuff there. Yeah, this level isn't super interesting, I don't believe. There's not too much to it. These planets all have pretty forgiving gravity fields, so you can get into them from light years away. It also introduces the sling pods, which is a pretty cringe mechanic altogether. Because pointers are ew, but... they're also used for this boss. You're gonna have to fling yourself into Tarantox, the big old spider, who canonically is a female, as I learned a while back. But yeah, this boss is very difficult to do optimally because sling pods are hard to use optimally. Ooh, Marlin sort of doing a little bit of a kamikaze thing there with the boss. Smacking himself in as the shell breaks him open as well. Ooh, catching the tip of the Kamex fireball. That's going to be the first unintentional death for Marlin that I've seen. Definitely not what you want to see. Ooh, Breadghost throwing off that toad a little too early. There's a little cooldown before you're able to hit the red whatevers on the bottom of Tarantox. You can use the toad to hit something, but Breadghost didn't quite wait long enough. And now a very difficult star grab, because, again, sling pods. Yep, Marlin, you're not quite far enough there, mate. There you go. So, because you just got through the sling pod level, now the game's like, here's another sling pod level. So that opens up this Hungry Luma outside, and we are going to be heading on over there to do some slinging. So this is a very frustrating level to do fast, because pointers fast don't work. But if Breadghost gets it, then it's going to be pretty cool. So you can see the difference over on Marlin's screen. This phase had a shell, just because that's what it was when he died, but the phases before that, he had a little bit of issues having fire go first. But there you go. So that boss is done. Marlin is heading out of Space Junk 2. And if I can recall the route correctly, he's probably going into a level called Rolling Green, which introduces the second motion control sort of object of the run. But we'll get to that. For now, let's take about 30 seconds and watch Breadghost handle the Sling Pod Galaxy. Really, really annoying galaxy to do fast. You're going to have to take very precise shots with the Sling Pod over top of an abyss with a black hole. There is a checkpoint on that Sling Pod that he missed, so Breadghost's going to be very careful that he doesn't die! And that is what happens sometimes. So he's going to have to go all the way back to the start, as he did not touch the Sling Pod that had the checkpoint in it. Really unfortunate stuff. Breadghost admittedly quite rusty at this game, and doesn't really care as he's a Sunshine main nowadays, but... Ooh, taking that shot way too early, getting firebarred, and that's going to be a second death for him. It's okay, Breadghost, I also had 2 Sling Pod deaths in my tournament run. We're just brothers, men. Together till the end. Third one even. Oh no. So you can see Marlin. We'll go back to Marlin. It's been more than 30 seconds. He is on the Star Ball. You're going to be... to do this, you need to use your Wii Remote kind of like a joystick. And use the motion controls. In this case, the Switch's Joy-Con router. Ooh! Rotor, I should say. That is a death for Marlin. So definitely keeping it interesting with Breadghost, who has given Marlin quite the opportunity to catch up with his... Oh god, 4 deaths. Oh, taking that way too early and unable to save it. Breadghost going all the way back to the... Not the start, about 2/3 of the way through. Definitely not having a good time. Is the White himself. Breadghost, chill out, man. Just wait for the cycle, please. You're killing me here. And Luigi, you're killing Luigi too. But more importantly, me. Alright, so you're seeing Marlin go around... Breadghost! No! This hurts. It's okay, Breadghost is just farming starbits, or something. Oh my god, man. What level is Marlin doing next? I think Marlin is going to be showing off Battle Rock. Now, originally the route that Breadghost is doing was called No Battle Rock because we skip the vast majority of the Battle Rock stages. Since then, it's been named Going Commando for reasons that I have absolutely no idea. So there's your brief history lesson with me. Alright, can Breadghost finally escape this nightmarish level? He does sneak right by it, and there we go. Breadghost is out of Sling Pod. Let's all take a breath. Oh boy. Now, he is actually still ahead of Marlin, believe it or not. That was Breadghost's 13th star, which sends him back to the front of the observatory so that Rosalina can talk about prankster comets, which are a concept we'll be introducing very shortly. Marlin is still on his 13th star here, so even despite the issues that Breadghost has been having, including that little bit of awkward piece of observatory movement there, he is still comfortably ahead, so all is still, you know, as it was. I'm just certain that Breadghost will be slightly more disgruntled if he chooses to join me for an interview after. So the players will both be heading into the first level of Battle Rock. This is technically an auto-scroller. There does exist a skip where you can go out of bounds and sort of traverse your way along parts of the level you're not supposed to be in. You can skip the auto-scroller, but it's widely considered the hardest skip in the game, and I don't suspect Breadghost will be going for it. Nice little optimization by him, though. He's going to skip collecting the blue star chips by taking a precise mega triple jump and just slide his way on into the launch star. Very nice stuff. And now both gentlemen are on the auto-scroller. Alright. Marlin going to take a jump to get over to this one slightly faster, taking advantage of the gravity fields. Very nice, very nice. Now, if he's careful, which he's not, you need to stay slightly further to our left, Luigi's right, in order to prevent the bullet bill from hitting the cage. There we go. Marlin is out of there. He has his star, and he will be heading on into... I have no idea. Guess who does not remember the route? Haha. It's an old route. I don't use it. I forget what comes next. I want to say Space Junk Comet, but I'm very possibly wrong on that. I am most definitely wrong on that because Space Junk Comet doesn't exist yet. Breadghost also with a well-placed triple jump in order to get to the second saucer faster. And you can see him riding the line a little bit closer. Into the cage he goes. And that is the next star for Breadghost. Marlin having a little bit of issue getting into the fountain. But he's on his way. So I think he does Battle Rock 2 next? Yeah. Okay. Now, Battle Rock 2 is one of the slower stars in the game, which is why we have somewhat recently replaced it, and by recently I mean like in the year 2021, because that's about how fast this game evolves. Breadghost, on the other hand, will be heading on over to Space Junk Comet. It's the exact same thing as Space Junk 1, except there are no checkpoints. So if Breadghost should meet with an untimely demise in the Silver Star section, which is the only place you can die in this level, then he'll be sent back to the start. So here's hoping he does not do that. I have seen enough Breadghost deaths for one first half. Here we go, that setup looks very nice. That's a good skip from Breadghost. Ooh, he almost ground pounded too early. Oh, that would have been bad. You could see him, he ground pounded to try to get into the gravity faster, but he was pulled back to the start, so thankfully he was able to hit the Polestar in time, prevent himself from going all the way back. And from there it's smooth sailing. Marlin making his way through the stage. Honestly, Battle Rock 2 is kind of self-explanatory. What you see is what you get. There aren't really any complicated skips involved. It's just kind of get through it and be fast, you know? It is a nice source of star bits, though. Although this route does not need star bits quite as much, but they are there. The Breadghost is going to be heading on back. 3 minutes and 3 seconds left on the timer. Started with 4 minutes. I don't think this speed run was too much at all. Alright, Marlin's in the cannon. He's going to be trying to hit both of these crystals at the same time to unlock the Luma within. He's got it, and now if he's able to shake hard enough, he'll be able to get right into the launch star, and he's out of there. Get him going. So as Marlin's going to go to the final planet, it's another little bomb section, nothing too crazy. Breadghost's turn to take on Rolling Green. He is also going to be using the Star Ball. Now we did see Marlin take a death here, about midway through the second portion of the Rolling Green course, so we'll see if Breadghost is able to make up a little bit of the time he lost. And try to catch up to Marlin a little bit more. I say catch up, Breadghost is still technically ahead, but you know how it is. So let's get through the tutorial. We are on the Star Ball, and we are moving. So Breadghost going to be trying to jump off the side here, trying to catch the rail early. He does get it. That skip saves like 2 to 3 seconds. And if you miss it, you die. So high risk, not all that much reward, but it's a simple enough trick that it's fine. Very nice resourcefulness by Breadghost, shooting the Goombas out of the way so that he doesn't run over them. While I normally approve of violence against Goombas, if you run over a Goomba, it slows you down. So in the name of speed, I will appreciate a little bit of pacifism. Now it is Marlin's turn to head into the Space Junk Comet, the Speedy Comet. I didn't see him have any trouble with the Silver Star section last time, so I assume he will be okay this time as well. That looked like actually a really good setup for the Polestar Skip. I'm not sure why he didn't let it go, but okay. He was also on the verge of ground pounding a little too early, but thankfully is pulled in by the correct gravity. You love to see it. He's having a little bit of issue getting around this rock. Thankfully, a little bit more Polestar Jitsu will do it. And now Breadghost heading into the third Grand Star, I should say, the first Bowser fight. Now, it's worth noting that Marlin is going to be doing 1 extra star while he is here in the Fountain Dome. Breadghost will be making it up by doing an additional star in the next dome, the kitchen. So Breadghost is going to be getting to this Bowser fight a lot faster than Marlin. Marlin still has another 2 stars after this to do. So it's going to get a little bit hard to sort of empirically keep track of who's ahead. But just understand that Breadghost is still very far ahead. So a nice little death warp there from Breadghost. Taking advantage of the fact that in this game, checkpoints are just kind of like zones. And so by backflipping into one of those zones, we can sort of trick the game into thinking we're farther than we are. Apparently, some people have done some timing, and the death warp doesn't even like necessarily save time, but the cycles that you get in the later parts of the stages are actually just good enough that we're like, yeah, it doesn't lose time, so we'll do it. Makes it slightly more convenient for us later. Another little piece of tech Breadghost is going to be going for here. Sliding his way over to the end. Getting onto that platform early, and we are starting the first Bowser fight. Now, Bowser fights are interesting because all of his attacks can be cancelled. So we're going to basically be telling him to stop all the time. He's going to be trying to stomp us all the time. So it's a nice little heated debate we get into. We're going to be bringing many wonderful ideas and giving a great display of rhetoric here with our fists. Booyah! Ooh, Breadghost getting a little bit of an awkward angle. Generally, you want to be thrown straight back so that Bowser immediately stomps on this blue circle. But not that big of a deal. And as you can see, once he gets stomped, he's available to be spun. Breadghost's going to be trying to spin into his face again here to cancel the attack. There you go. So that cancels him throwing fireballs. Again, just slightly off the blue circle. You'd like to see him hit it first try, but it happens sometimes. And then, as he slides his way on over, we're going to intercept him and spin him again. I've been talking this whole time about Bowser. I guess we should slide on over to Marlin. There are 2 racers. Marlin's into Space Junk 3. Battle Rock 3. This is another boss fight level. Although I really hesitate to call him a boss because he's really just bad. And easy. But there's a little bit of platforming in here that I think is really cool. There's no major skips or anything that I feel like I have to talk about. So if you want to take a look at the platforming on Marlin's screen, by all means go ahead. There's nothing, I should say, like exceptional for me to point out. The platforming should all speak for itself. He's going to do a triple jump here to get into the next gravity field. And from here it's just a series of jumps, making sure you don't get squished. And you're out of the 2D section. Breadghost will be collecting his 3rd Grand Star, I think about 4 minutes slower than he'd like to be. Although, of course, if you ask Breadghost, he'll probably tell you he doesn't want to be playing this game at all, so there you go. When is the Super Mario Sunshine any % tournament day? I kid, of course. Alright, Marlin is finished with Battle Rock 3's stage. He's now going to be heading over to the boss planet. And as you'll see, this boss, Top Maniac, it's sort of like a bigger Topman, which are what all these red lads around him are. But he's really an underwhelming boss, all in all. You hit him 3 times, but that's about the only thing making him feel like a boss. Alright, Breadghost moving his way on into the kitchen, the 3rd dome. Beach Bowl here is a pretty interesting stage. The levels themselves aren't necessarily too difficult, but each level has like one specific thing that makes it kind of tricky. So, for example, here, the level that Breadghost is going to be going into, there's a very tight triple jump at the very end to get up onto the platform with the power star. Normally, they want you to collect these star chips in the ocean. They kind of forget that we're kind of masters at tree climbing. So we're going to be climbing onto those trees on the left and all sorts of fun stuff. Interesting that Breadghost is collecting star bits here. I'm not sure if that's necessarily recommended, but of course I will trust him on this one. You can see, there he goes, he's into the palm tree. We're just going to make our way up here. And now if he has a good triple jump here, he is right up there. Good stuff. Yeah, sometimes that triple jump just kind of doesn't work. There's a hidden property in this game called tilt, which is sort of based on the angle of slopes you're on and the directions you're facing and all sorts of nerd stuff that I don't fully understand. And so sometimes if you have bad tilt going into the triple jump, you just kind of don't do it. And so it's one of those things that we can't really micromanage, so we just kind of get there and hope it's good enough. There are ways to like ensure that it's okay, but sometimes they're slow and we just kind of don't care. But Breadghost making it through easy enough, so all is well on that front, I would say. So now that Marlin is done with the Comet of Battle Rock, which I should have mentioned is the first Daredevil Comet, in which you only have 1 hit point to complete the star, he's now going to be going on to the first Bowser fight himself. As for Breadghost, as he goes into the 2nd Beach Bowl level, we're going to be bullying some more penguins, which, as I said before, always a lot of fun. This penguin has the gold shell. We're just going to nab it like that, and that's the star. Alright, see you later. There is really nothing to talk about here. It's a great star. Sometimes you can just kind of like miss and then die because Luigi drowns super fast, but we don't like to talk about that. Marlin going for the Death Warp here. That looked really good. I think he'll hit it. Yes, sir. He is over there. And he's going to be making his way along the 2D section as well. Oh, getting firebar burned there. Thankfully not dying. The platform is there just in time to make sure he doesn't die twice now. A little bit of a lucky save there. Now Breadghost will be going into the 3rd Beach Bowl level. This one, again, not really complicated on its own, but at the very end there's a long jump that can be kind of finicky. We'll talk about it when we get there. Marlin also getting to the platform earlier to start the fight faster. Good stuff from him. Breadghost with a nice frame-perfect jump there. When you enter a galaxy, if you press A on the exact frame that Luigi hits the ground, you'll jump. And so instead of watching that animation where he like puts his arms up like he's a gymnast, he'll just get to moving. And it saves at least a second, sometimes more. But it's a frame-perfect trick. So whenever you watch some galaxy runners, you'll find it very difficult for them to top a lot of their gold splits just because the frame-perfect jump in many cases is needed. So now Breadghost making his way along the Stone Cyclone. He's going to be trying to make a cycle here with the Toxbox, which he makes very effortlessly. And now here's the long jump I'm talking about. He's going to be jumping up to the left. He's going to try to get a wall kick off of this wall here. He does so. Sometimes you just kind of slide off and it's just dumb, but in this case, Breadghost getting through it with no issue. I may or may not be a little bit bitter because I fell on that long jump earlier today in one of my runs, but I will do my best not to take it out on the runners. I'm not bitter, you are. Alright, Breadghost now will be heading on to, what's it called again? Bubble Breeze? To show off the third with an asterisk motion control mechanic. It's not really motion control, it's just the pointer to blow this bubble, but I like to include it just because rule of 3 and all that. So Marlin finishing up the Bowser fight. He's good to go. He's going to be heading into the kitchen as well. The order of stars he's going to be doing in the kitchen is going to be different than Breadghost. So I will do my best to keep up with both runners. But, you know, very different routes, very different paces right now. And only one little old me. So bear with me a little, please. So as you can see, the pointer is going to be used to blow the bubble around. It's not too crazy. You just need to make sure that you don't accidentally blow yourself into a mine, which can definitely happen because these rocks have really dumb collision and you just kind of bounce off them sometimes. And then he's going to fly on through here, collect a whole bunch of star bits, and he's out of there. Nice little skip at the end there. Saves doing the rest of the stage, which takes like over a minute. And instead we're just going to jump onto a wall that was left on the rocks for some reason. Let's go back into Beach Bowl for Breadghost to take on the Secret Star. Now the reason he skipped the Comet is for very advanced menuing reasons, because if you do the Comet it appears on the star select screen here, and so we like to do the Comet or the Secret Star last to ensure that there are as few stars that load in as possible. It's a very, very minor time save, and I think it saves like 8 seconds over the course of the entire run, but it's something. Breadghost struggling to get underwater. He needs to grab a green shell. This one on this rock tends to do. If he's very careful about his ascent and he's able to get up onto there, eesh, that is very, very scary. If you go back into the water, it kind of gets disorienting, so I'm glad that Breadghost was able to get out of that relatively painlessly. Asterisk. Marlin is also in Beach Bowl now. He's going to be taking on Beach Bowl 1. We'll see if he has his good luck with good tilt. Breadghost into a very technical section where they introduce the Ice Flower, which turns water to ice. Pretty self-explanatory, but pretty cool. You can use it to wall jump off waterfalls, as the English name of the star would suggest. I'm having a little bit of issue getting started. Marlin does indeed get up there first try. You love to see it. Now Breadghost's going to try to backflip into the star. Ooh, just a little bit too far back. Not quite going to get it. Trying again. Perfect. There you go. Yeah, it can be a little bit awkward, that jump, because the camera doesn't want to cooperate with you in any sense of the word. So, a little bit awkward, but he gets through it. Marlin got through Beach Bowl 1 with no problem. He's going to be going into Beach Bowl 2 now. And Breadghost heading on into Ghostly Galaxy, one of my favorites for the run. All 3 levels are actually pretty interesting. Yeah, Marlin, Beach Bowl 2, as I said, not a very interesting level in my opinion. Not too sure what to say about it. So I would say focus your eyes on Breadghost for just a moment. He's going to be doing the more interesting star. Nice little piece of movement tech, taking advantage of backwards momentum to fly your way around the planet, is Mr. Ghost. There's a rainbow star in here. Rainbow stars make you move a little bit faster, and of course they make you invincible. That's going to come in handy in about 15 seconds from now. as we make our way into the mansion. Because the painting back there has a boo in it, and we want to kill it. Nice and easy. Now a bit of a disorienting section with star chips. It'd be a little bit awkward because the camera angle is not really favorable with all the different gravities. And of course somebody decided that black holes were like a good feature for Windows. I don't know. I don't like specialize in interior design. I do math, but it seems kind of weird to me. I don't know. Maybe I just don't get it. Maybe it's like avant-garde or something. I don't know. And now mansion clip from Breadghost trying to get in under... Wait, is he going for Boolean? No way. Breadghost trying to go for a boo-less setup here. He's going to try to get into the room directly. That is insane. Absolutely top-notch stuff there. Breadghost going for something completely different than what I thought. I love it. He's going to skip the boom mushroom entirely by just walking in under the floor there, clipping out of bounds, doing all sorts of weird movement. I love it. It's now Marlin's turn to take on Beach Bowl Secret, and as you can see, he's back into the water, and he is not doing so hot. That's why I said if you get back into the water, it can kind of be awkward. He's going to try to turn himself back around. I don't know why he went back down there. That is a recipe to fly right off the edge, but he's staying alive, so fair enough. So now, because you saved Luigi in that last level, which is kind of weird, Luigi saving Luigi, but hey, it's a big world, he will now start appearing in levels. So we're going to go talk to him to do that, but before we do that, we're going to feed our second Hungry Luma of the run. Our being Breadghost, at least. And as we do that, this star will take about a second or two to prime before you can actually use it. So instead of just sitting around and waiting, we're actually going to go talk to Luigi during this downtime. It's a nice little piece of overworld sort of optimization in the movement. Now Marlin opting to take the safer strat with the Cataquack. This is how you're intended to do it. The Cataquack just kind of shoots you into the star. Pretty straightforward stuff, nothing too crazy going on there. So now Marlin's actually going to be going into Ghostly 1 next, I believe. So he will be very slightly lagging behind Breadghost there. As Breadghost heads into Sweet Sweet, which if you've not speedrun Super Mario Galaxy, this is what all Super Mario Galaxy speedruns look like. Breadghost is going to be doing about 25 long jumps, and that is the entire level. Yeah, please don't die. I feel like Breadghost's 120 brain is kicking in. He's collecting a lot of star bits. But hey, better safe than sorry, yeah? So now another nice piece of sort of double teleportation magic. Normally, whenever you complete a Hungry Luma, you get sent back to the front of the observatory anyways. But we also get sent back to the front because Luigi has a letter for us. Because he is stuck on a roof. How did he send this letter? Who took the picture? All of that. Questions that science cannot answer. Luigi continues to befuddle. So we're going to go back into the terrace real quick. There's a couple of stars in here that we want to grab. One of them indeed being the star that Luigi will have for us. That's the sort of gimmick. He's gone back into galaxies and he's found stars for us. Don't know where he found them. But he found them. And as you can see, it's quite the investment to talk to him because this star is extremely fast. What is Breadghost doing? Definitely not the optimal movement there, but you know, not too complicated of a star altogether. Just get up on the roof, talk to Luigi. There's your star. And while we're in the vicinity, we're going to take on one more comet. There's a cosmic clone comet in here, Honey Hive 1, or excuse me, in the Honey Hive Galaxy, where we're going to race a Cosmic Luigi. And again, the level kind of speaks for itself. There's one skip that Breadghost is going to be doing, very similar to the one that Marlin did in Honey Hive 1. There's the connection I was looking for. Because the star is in that sort of underside of the galaxy. We can see Marlin at pretty much the same point. He's also going to be doing Sweet Sweet, but he's going to be reversing the order of the Honey Hive Comet and going after Luigi and Good Egg. So, other than that, he's going to be taking a very similar path here. Talking to the Luma and flying on over to Luigi. We're going to see Breadghost going for a starting boost here. If you press Z, you get into that sort of ready stance, and then if you press A within, I believe it's 5 frames of go, Luigi turns gold, as you saw there, and he gets going super fast. So down Breadghost goes into the sort of underbelly of the planet, into the star. Nothing too complicated there. Just a couple of nice fast stars. Alright, let's get out of the terrace. Let's go back to the new dome. We're going back to the kitchen for a little bit. We have, I think, 4 more stars to do in here. If I've done me maths right. Again, Breadghost getting that not wall kick. That is the most unsatisfying thing ever in this game, I swear. Alright, Beach Bowl Comet brings back the Stone Cyclone that we saw earlier, except now the Yellow Comet is the Fast Foe Comet, so the Tox Boxes and the Thwomps on the Stone Cyclone will be moving twice as fast as before. Marlin collecting a 1-up over in Sweet Sweet, but almost walking into a hole doing it. That would have been an interesting exchange there. But he's out of there. Ooh, quick bonk. Please don't die. Thank you, sir. Alright. So let's see if Breadghost can go 2 for 2 on the Stone Cyclone long jump. Ooh, bonks right into the Tox Box. Thankfully, as far as deaths are concerned, that one's pretty quick. That's only about 10 seconds. You could definitely do a lot worse in this game. Missing the skip loses about 30 seconds, so definitely don't want to be doing that. He's going to slide his way on over here. He's going to take a little bit of a wider angle this time, I hope. There we go. Ooh, almost dying because of yet another not wall kick. There he goes, over to the other side. Is 2 for 2 on this skip. You love to see it. Alright, let's head back into Ghostly Galaxy now for a couple more stars. So as I said, Marlin's going to be doing the same 2 stars in the terrace that Breadghost did. He's only just going to reverse the order. Ghostly 2 now for Breadghost. This level is interesting to run. Might not be super interesting to watch because it's really just a bunch of Polestars in a race against the spooky Speedster. He's very spooky. Look at him. Look at those teeth. Hard to see anything behind that massive tongue, but he's gonna lick ya. Alright, Marlin going to try to get into the underbelly of the planet as well. Through a nice long jump, he does so. All is good there. Oh, does Breadghost want to do S first? Okay, that's fine. Breadghost opting to do S instead. The 2 are done right after each other, so it's not a big deal. This level features one of the coolest looking skips in the game, I think. Breadghost is going to be doing some invisible wall kicks. At least I hope he is. Yeah, there are things loaded in here. Ooh. Hitting the key there means he cannot do the trick anymore, so he's going to have to collect the key down here and move up just a little bit. There's an alternate version of the trick that he's hopefully going to go for that you can do after grabbing that key. Yeah, there you go. Same walls, going to be kicking off them. Ooh, sort of a delayed spin there, not quite getting it, and he is... Ooh, how did he save that? Wow. As you can tell, very good commentary for me. I know exactly what's going on. Wow, I was not expecting Breadghost to save that so seamlessly, but there are objects loaded in there. You can't see them, but they're there, and we are able to do some wall kicks off them, as Breadghost showed off there. Mechanically, it's kind of hard to talk about what's going on there, just because you kind of just have to know from doing it, but there we are. So back into Ghostly 2 goes Breadghost. I suppose he's doing this for the sake of not wanting there to be any menu fail, because it's very easy to accidentally select Ghostly 3, which we do not do in this run. Alright, so Marlin looks like he's going to be doing Beach Ball 3 and then Comet right away. So as we've already seen Breadghost do those, let's see if Marlin's able to keep up the streak of tricks. If he even goes for them, of course. I don't know for certain. Breadghost goes along with his Polestars. Like I said, it's an interesting level to run. Not so much to talk about, because it's really just pulling Polestars super fast. But, there you go. So you can see slightly different cycles for Marlin here. He's going to have to wait for that Tox Box. Unless he's able to jump onto it, which he's not. He's caught on behind it, and he's fired right into the black hole. That is very unfortunate. Awkwardly timed jump, and that is a death for Marlin. So Breadghost has collected the last normal star. Okay, so Marlin's going to go for the intended route. Just going to make his way along the Cyclone here, no big deal. It's not that much slower than the trick, only 10-15 seconds or so. Like most of these tricks, over the course of a 2.5-hour run, the time save you get from them isn't, like, too huge. So, no big deal at all. So Breadghost's time to go into the second Bowser Jr. fight. We only do 2 of them in this run. This is the most chaotic boss fight in the game. There's going to be so much happening. The course itself is actually fairly easy. It's just riding airships and stuff. But the boss fight, oh boy. You're going to see some shenanigans, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you. I will try to do my best to talk about it live, so give me a moment to drink some water. Ooh, Breadghost's taking that long jump way too early. You can do that long jump early to get to that bridge faster, but he took it way too early, and that'll send him all the way back to the start of the auto-scroller. Marlin still making his way along. Beach Bowl Comet this time. It's a little bit harder to time these cycles just because the Tox Boxes are moving so fast, but he's able to get through it with no incident. And now Breadghost onto the boss fight. I will be able to talk about what's going on. The goal is to throw shells at Bowser Jr. You're going to be throwing 5 of them. And here we go. The first stage, not so bad. Ooh, accidentally getting a double spin there, throwing that shell away a lot faster than he'd like. He's also trying to throw star bits at Bowser Jr. If you hit Bowser Jr. with anything, he drops, I think, 16 star bits. So that's a nice little bit of cash for you. Now Bowser Jr. is going to be throwing fireballs. Here comes another Magic Koopa. There is a lot going on the stage. There's a lot of fire. He was hit by the fire, so he's going to have to take a second before he can properly jump into the Grand Star. But that is Breadghost finished. Bowser Jr. 2. Looking at a 1:17:30. This is in the ballpark of about 6.5 minutes slower than what Breadghost would probably like to be getting. But that's Galaxy. This is the kind of game Galaxy is, not gonna lie. So Breadghost is through 3 domes now. Marlin is on to the last 2 stars before the Grand Star himself. So he's going to be making his way on over to that same fight relatively quickly. Now Marlin's going to be showing off the auto-scroller, I assume. Yeah, normally Ghostly 2 is just an auto-scroller, which is kind of slow, but if you fail the wall jumping part, you can just kind of die, so not any shame in going slightly safer. I don't know what he's doing. I think he was trying to jump under the floor, but it solidified a little bit too quickly for him. So now Breadghost is going to be heading on over to back to the Toad. He forgot to talk to the Toad. Yep. Yeah, we're going to be saving Luigi for the second time now. He's in the fountain this time, so we're going to be going and getting 2 stars from the fountain. But of course, this time you need to talk to the Toad yourself. The first time they did it for you. Now they're just like, no more hand-holding. So there Breadghost goes, very diligently talking to the Toad. Bonk. Marlin's going to be going into the bubble, and then straight after, he's going to be heading over to Bowser Jr. Breadghost heading into Hurry Scurry. This is a very boring galaxy with, like, 1 optimization, maybe. So here we go, Breadghost is going to be collecting all of the music notes on this planet. There's no way to do this, like, necessarily fast. You just kind of do them. There's a nice little optimization there he did where he pre-shrunk a platform in front of the last music notes so that he can immediately walk off because the star is inside the black hole for some reason. Don't ask me how that works. But there we go. Alright, Marlin has collected his last normal star of the kitchen. He'll be moving on to Bowser Jr. 1 shortly. Breadghost will now be going back into Battle Rock to save Luigi. This is another auto-scroller. So again, not too much to talk about here. It's the exact same auto-scroller, in fact, except that Luigi is on the underside of that last saucer instead of on top of it. So, same level, same shenanigans, you know how it is. So if you don't feel like watching an auto-scroller, you can check out Marlin on the right side of your screen, going into the most chaotic boss fight himself. I think it'll be some interesting things going on here. We saw Breadghost eat a death at the end of the auto-scroller section. That lost him probably about 30 seconds. So Marlin does have a chance to sort of catch up here. Ooh, getting rocked by the pink thing. Yeah, neither player in a particularly interesting like stage right now. The stage of Bowser Jr. too is pretty boring, but the boss fight's interesting. Alright, good first shot from Marlin. And he's got to be careful that this one doesn't hit the bullet bill. Thankfully he's able to jump over it. Bullet bills are crashing into each other, so those are damages lost. Oh, kind of getting smacked by the fire there. The fire damage will delay the cutscene getting moved over. There are 2 coins at the back of the ship, which maybe Marlin will go for. He does indeed. At least one of them, sure. And make sure you're facing straight forward. Hit the ship head on. Now you're going to jump right over the turtle. Get back there. There you go. And now if he's able to hit this angled shot, which he is, Marlin is able to get out of that fight relatively painlessly, just as Breadghost collects the star under the saucer. Now the nice thing about that star is that it's green, and the benefit of a green star is that the first one you collect sends you to the front of the observatory. So because those are the only 2 stars we are collecting in the fountain, we can head right back on out and be a little bit closer to where we want to go next. Alright, Breadghost going to be moving along the inside of the observatory over to the bedroom, which is the next dome. We're going to be collecting, I think, a dozen stars in here. So get comfy. We're going to be here for a while. Freeze Flame is first on the docket for Mr. Ghost. This star in particular is pretty cool. Get it? Cause ice, yeah? Yeah. I'm trying to be funny. Now that Marlin has finished with the kitchen, he will also be doing those same 2 stars. So he will be talking to the Toad and then heading off into the fountain to do some shenanigans over there with Luigi. So we'll be seeing him catch up with Breadghost shortly in the bedroom. Freeze Flame 1 in particular is actually a really cool level. It's probably one of my favorites. The platforming in it is really nice, and if you get it all to sort of line up correctly, it's a really satisfying star to do. The boss fight at the end kind of like interrupts your flow a little bit, but it's something I'm willing to live with. There he goes. A little bit of an awkward sequencing there. Not exactly what I would have liked to see, but he gets up there all the same. Going to try to do a triple jump to land on that question mark block and immediately long jump into the Sling Star. You need to carry the Ice Flower with you here to get to the top of the mountain and fight against the boss Baron Burr. Now this guy's kind of weird. You can just kind of spin him, and then spin him again, and then spin him 6 times. And he does that. Like I said, bit of a lackluster boss fight, kind of a stain on an otherwise amazing stage, but at least he's fast. Marlin now will be heading on over to Battle Rock to redo Battle Rock 1. Save Luigi. Again, it's the same auto-scroller. So, if you don't feel like watching an auto-scroller, keep your eyes to the left. Breadghost is going to be going into the second level of Freeze Flame. As the title suggests, first we had the freeze, now we have the flame. Freeze Flame's blistering core. This level is pretty frustrating. There are a couple of skips you can do here, I should say, that are varying degrees of difficulty. But first we have to get through this donut of ice. Now you'll see Breadghost, as he shakes open these crystals, he's going to go neutral on the control stick, and that allows Luigi to stop in place for a second. Because if you keep going forward, Luigi will actually just pass right through the crystals, will pass right through the star chips, and you won't be able to collect them. So this is not necessarily an optimization, but sort of compensation for this quirk of the game, if you will. So Breadghost moving his way along, got some long jumps, the traditional Super Mario Galaxy experience. I presume he's going to be jumping up here. Cute little skip to get across this without having to switch the gravity. And then you're going to see him do a long jump to the right into what seems like no man's land, but the gravity later on is going to catch him, and he is going to head on right down here. Very good. Now he's in the final section. All he's got to do is take that fire flower, light the torches, and the star is his. You can sort of fly with the fire flower for a little bit just by throwing multiple fireballs. Breadghost doing a nice job of it there to float right into the star. I love to see it. Alright, so now Freeze Flame Comet is going to spawn, which means we are not going to go into Freeze Flame. We're going to head over into the other main galaxy of the dome, Gusty Garden. This has the music that everyone knows from Galaxy. Pretty great music, but if I'm being completely honest, I think the Galaxy itself is kind of boring in terms of speedrunning, but I shall do my best to provide as unbiased commentary as I am capable of. So the main gimmick of this galaxy is Floaty Fluff. These flowers over here, you're going to see Breadghost long jump into them to ensure he keeps as much momentum as possible. Get a nice high flight here, make his way over to this planet. Very good stuff. Now this level doesn't feature too much complicated stuff. He's going to be trying to get a nice path with this Floaty Fluff up here to ensure that he skips this first dark green planet that's right in front of him. He wants to end up on the light green planet just above it in the background. And by carrying himself in these airstreams, he will be able to do just that, making his way over to this backwards bean planet. And a well-placed triple jump will allow him to get out of this as well, just like so. And with that, he is on to the penultimate planet, trying to land on top of the big flowered lad. There you go. It's gone. And now, episode 2 of Catching Bunnies. You gotta catch this bunny and you get a star. It's not super hard in and of itself, but it's very easy to have things go wrong here. But Breadghost's gonna make his way in, catch the bunny without any issue. Because Luigi jumps so high, it's sometimes possible to overshoot your jump, bounce off its head, and you just kind of have a really bad dogfight after that, but no issue there for Breadghost. Now, with Marlin doing the same star as him, I believe that confirms that Marlin is doing Pushback 1.0, which means that we're going to be seeing Marlin do Gusty Garden 2 right after this. Whereas Breadghost is going to head back into Freeze Flame to do Freeze Flame 3. It looks like Marlin's a little bit confused as to what he's supposed to be destroying to move on here. That's the one with the vine on it. There you go. And making his way on over. Alright, so Breadghost into the level that combines the hot and the cold. Again, this level is fairly straightforward as well. There's not too much to talk about here. He needs a torch to light up these... Or he needs a fire flower to light these torches, I should say. And the fire flower is on the other side of the planet, so we're going to need to take a quick excursion over there. And now there's usually a little bit of platforming you need to do where you go around and open up the cage, but we're just kind of going to not, if that's all the same with you. And we're going to break into it this way. You can really tell the 120 player in Breadghost trying to milk out every single starbit he can from this. And now the final section, you're going to use the Ice Flower again. There's a layer of water underneath the lava that you freeze here, which is why you're able to skate on the lava. It's pretty cool. It's very easy to die in this section with just like a misplaced jump, especially with the gravity switching all the time, but Breadghost getting through it with no difficulty. Ooh, and just as I say it, he gets a not jump there. I do not know what happened. He tried to jump, but he just got no momentum. That happens sometimes. That's a certified Super Mario Galaxy moment, let me tell you. Marlin making his way into Gusty Garden 2. We'll be seeing Breadghost do it just after he finishes this. This is all about moles. Moles are dumb. We hate moles. Alright, there we go. Breadghost getting through it. Much nicer there. So yeah, as we get to Marlin going across this question mark planet, we're going to need to see him be very careful with the camera. Because entities in this game only move when they're on camera, so you're going to want to be careful just how often these moles are on screen. So that you don't accidentally move them into an undesirable location. So there we have one, and we can see the third one coming slightly towards him, and he is able to catch it in time. Good stuff. Not too shabby of moles there for Marlin. Got the Marlin moles. Now we got the Breadghost moles. No, Marlin, you got to hit that stump, unfortunately. There are a lot of invisible walls surrounding these apples, so as much as we wish that we could just sort of like do triple jumps and get around them, we can't. It's pretty boring, but, you know. This is a triple jump we can make, though. Just gonna triple jump into the star there. Or backflip. It's all the same. So as Marlin's going to go face off against Major Burrows, who's really just a big mole. Big, large mole. Breadghost with very nice moles himself. He is already on the star. He does need to wait a second for it to prime, but otherwise that's about as good as it gets. So yeah, Marlin facing off against the biggest mole of them all. It's really a mole that you need to hit 3 times, because it's a boss, and what is the defining characteristic of a boss other than it hitting 3 times? Marlin making short work of the massive mole. And that is another star. Breadghost is trailing very closely behind. So Marlin's going to be heading into Gusty Garden 3. Although if he's doing the pushback route, he'll probably be doing S first. They both take place on the same star, so it'll be up to Marlin to determine which one he wants to do. You see Breadghost doing a very good job of keeping himself above Major Burrows to ensure that he comes out of the ground as quickly as possible. If you're not within a certain proximity of Major Burrows, he stays under the ground and, you know, does that little digging animation. So Breadghost makes sure to close the distance as fast as possible to ensure that he can get at Major Burrows as quickly as possible. So Marlin does look like he is going for the secret star, which involves collecting these question mark coins. There are, so like 5 of them, I think. There is the last one here. And you can see that the star bits in the rather conspicuous shape, they lead to a rainbow star. And we need that rainbow star to break open a certain something on this planet that has a bunch of rocks on it. There's one rock in particular that we are very interested in. it doesn't do any chance, or it doesn't do any attempt to hide itself. It's, yeah, the golden shop. So Marlin's going to be going back to doing Gusty Garden 3 right now, I believe. The comment might come in between, I don't quite remember. Whereas Breadghost is going to be going back into the Freeze Flame Galaxy. Well, he already is. A little bit of an awkward angle off of that rock. But he's going to be doing the Secret Star, which has a lot of really cool platforming if done well. So let's see what he's able to do for us, Mr. Ghost. Okay, Marlin indeed going back into doing Gusty Garden 3. We might see him get all these question mark coins again. It's honestly not the worst thing ever. The question mark coins do a very good job of telling you where to, like, spin. Very nice job from Breadghost getting what we call a diagonal wall kick. A little bit too gung-ho on the spin there, but all the same. Yeah, the diagonal wall kick, very nice little technique to allow you to wall kick off of perpendicular walls. Pretty cool stuff. And now the platforming grind begins. There are a few specific backflips he has to make here. After making sure that he triple jumps up there. Oh, so buttery smooth. Look at that, man. Look at him go. So that's the summit for Breadghost. He's scaled it. Marlin showing us how to collect the star chips here. This is needed to access the final part of Gusty Garden 3, the aptly named Gravity Scramble. Now, I don't know about Marlin. I know Breadghost is going to be skipping a fair amount of the scrambling. I don't know what Marlin does, but I will leave it to him to show us. Okay, so he's going to go across. He's going to be doing it more or less the casual way, so fair enough. Makes the star nice and easy. Breadghost going back into the final Freeze Flame level, the Comet. This is another Cosmic Clone race. We're going to be doing 4 of those over the course of the run. This just involves beating the Cosmic Clone across this same course from earlier, except now it's all ice, so, you know, do with that what you will. You don't have to worry about grabbing the ice flower. And you can focus completely on your skating. There we go. No issues for Breadghost that time. You love to see it. And the final level now in Gusty Garden for Marlin, the Daredevil Comet in which he fights Major Burrows. So we already saw Marlin show off one Daredevil Comet back in the fountain with Top Maniac. Now he gets to do it with Major Burrows. And Breadghost will be doing that, I think, as his next star after this one. He's going to be doing Gusty Garden 3 first, then Comet, then Secret. Okay, again, it's all in the name of very specific menuing optimizations. The route that Marlin does isn't doing that. It's a little bit older, but, you know, again, it's like 8 seconds of time save. It doesn't really matter. You can see Marlin weaving back and forth to make sure he doesn't get too far away from Major Burrows, ensuring that he's always up in the air. Breadghost facing the wrong way. You want to be facing backwards to ensure that the backwards momentum can carry you over to the bean planet. So a little bit of a slip up on his part, but not too bad. Looks like Marlin took a death there. Definitely not what you want to see. Generally, dying in this game is pretty bad, except for that one spot where you want to die. Oh, a little bit of an awkward timing there from Breadghost, unless he was wanting to use that momentum to get over to the other side of the planet, in which case you are a genius, sir. But I assume that's not what happened. Alright, Marlin going to try again at this third phase, firing the star bits at Major Burrows to ensure he doesn't get too far, and this time Marlin is successful. Okay, Breadghost going to show off a very cool version of box jump, I think. This is the reason why we do Gusty Garden 3 first. Never mind, he's abandoning ship on that. He's going to be doing the classic Gusty Garden 3 skip. Just a long jump to the right. And not getting it. Oh, Breadghost, you're breaking my heart here, man. Yeah, the way he was changing the camera at the start, I thought he was going to go for one of the harder version of this setup, or the harder version of this skip, I should say, but nope. He's going to go for the classic one. I think... Oh, Breadghost. Please, man. I think Breadghost is spinning a little too early, in my opinion, but I could be analyzing this all wrong. Breadghost. Oh, my man. This hurts. I feel a certain sense of camaraderie with Breadghost because we're the two highest seeded 1P players in this tournament. So I want to see him do well, of course. Okay, there we go. That looked really good. Alright. Breadghost is finally through. Yeah, I feel those ground pounds, mate. I feel those. So Marlin's also going through Freeze Flame 1. I wasn't able to mention it because I was too busy focusing on Breadghost for a second there. He had the penguin go the other way. Having the penguin go off to the in a counterclockwise formation is slower than clockwise, but definitely still doable. And Marlin's making his way up there, no problem at all. Hopefully here Breadghost has a little bit of an easier time with the Gusty Garden Comet. Yep, getting a little bit frozed by those blue lads. Don't know what they're called. Doesn't matter. Baron Burr dies, they die with him. All is well. So yeah, Breadghost once again doing a very good job of staying as close to Major Burrows as possible. Making sure that he pops out of the ground nice and quickly. Marlin going to be doing the Comet now for Freeze Flame. Going to be doing a little bit of a race. Oh, a little bit too early as Breadghost. Thankfully he's not going to get punished for it. Ground pounded a little bit too early just before Major Burrows came out of the ground. But no big deal. And last but not least for Breadghost, he's going to head on into Gusty Garden Secret. We saw Marlin do it already, it's fairly straightforward. Marlin showing off one of the quirks of this level. Sometimes your directions just kind of change. They go opposite. So you saw him trying to go into the screen a little bit and then only went forward a little bit after. It's an interesting little thing that happens sometimes. So Breadghost getting all the question mark coins, growing the vine first so he can do a nicely placed backflip into that. Nicely done. Oh, having a little bit of an issue with spinning. Focusing a little bit on collecting the star bits. And he's done. So we're going to be getting one more star here before moving on to the Grand Star. That will be from Honey Climb, the second level to use the honeycomb from Honey Hive. It's a fairly uninteresting level on its own, but there is a really cool technique that Breadghost is going to be using to get some really fast flight. That actually makes the bee mushroom kind of useful, not gonna lie. Obviously, the bee mushroom is always useful for flying up honeycomb and climbing up it, I should say. But we have this technique. We utilize the very eloquently dubbed Valu Fly High Bee thing, where, well, you'll see Breadghost put it into action here, I hope. There you go, he gets a nice shake. So as you saw there, he pressed A to jump off the honeycomb, and then shook with his nunchuck as quickly after as possible to get a huge amount of height and fly right up to the top of that planet, I guess? It's not much of a planet, it's a wall, but I don't know. Drifting a little bit into no man's land here, but not a big deal. This level, fantastic source of star bits. Marlin burning himself on the way to the star, but is able to collect the star regardless. Oh. Breadghost was going for a spin there. He wants to get a spin off of this Mandibug. There you go. Get a little bit more height that way. Now, if possible, use the coins. Oof, super clean. Took him a couple laps around to set up, but otherwise, very nice honey climb overall by Breadghost. Yeah, the trick is kind of finicky. You need to be facing directly up. You need to be going neutral on the control stick. You need to spin within a certain frame window, I should say. A little bit finicky, but no worries. So Marlin heading into Freeze Flame 3. We've seen this before. Breadghost going into the second Bowser fight of the run in Bowser 2. This is arguably the hardest boss fight in the run, I would say. And definitely the hardest of the 3 Bowser fights that we're going to be doing. Hardest stage, too. There's going to be a lot of very precise platforming here, a lot of gravity fields, as you can see by those arrows. So Breadghost is going to have to be very precise as he moves his way through this very tight platforming section. So let's see what he's able to accomplish. So there he goes, a nice little bit of platforming. Those light blue squares are dark matter. If you touch those, you will die. So Breadghost is very diligently not doing that. And just going to schmoove his way on over to one of the hardest skips in the game, in my opinion. This is called Plus Skip. You can see the plus just down off to the right. He's going to use that. He's going to do a long jump off of it, spin at the right time, try to maneuver his way through all the gravities, and indeed skip all the way to the end. Very nice. Unfortunately, Marlin taking a death at the same time wasn't quite able to catch it because Plus Skip is one of those things that I just kind of dedicate my full attention to. But there you go. Breadghost making it through Bowser 2 with very little issue. You love to see it. Now, hopefully Marlin's fortunes change a little bit here, and he doesn't take a death here. There you go. Very nice. When the gravity switches between these three sections, it can be kind of easy to lose your bearings. So good on Marlin for navigating those complications. Breadghost trying to do a quick damage or a spin cancel at the first phase of this thing. The first phase is honestly kind of tricky to cancel correctly because Bowser doesn't throw you back very far before getting up and spinning into you. He now has the ability to spin, which is very annoying. You can cancel it with your own spins, but as you saw there, sometimes you just don't get the spins off in time. Breadghost almost fumbling the bag there. The fire damage took away his spin temporarily, but he was able to jump out of it in time. And now we're going to see him utilize a weak spin here in the air. Very nice. Weak spins are spins that you do before you've given up your cooldown for the spin. You can only spin... there's like a 1 second cooldown between each spin. And so you can do that to get another weak spin in between, which sometimes has a hitbox, sometimes doesn't. In this particular fight it does, and we use that to cancel the last phase a little bit early. So after that long-winded explanation, the gist of it, Breadghost through that fight, nice and easy. Marlin finishing up Freeze Flame here with Freeze Flame Secret. He's also going to be doing Honey Climb and then Bowser 2, so he's going to be following a very similar path as Breadghost. Their paths are going to diverge again once they get into the engine room, which is the last dome of the run and the hardest, according to quite a few people. But we will save that for when we get there. Breadghost is going to get there very quickly, but you know what I mean. Alrighty, let's see how Marlin handles the complicated waters of Freeze Flame Secret. Very tricky level to do precisely, because Bat. That Bat's kind of a prick. Marlin facing the wrong direction for that triple jump there. Not quite what you want to see. There we go. Now he's making his way on up. A little bit of hesitation. Not a huge surprise. If you mess up a part of this, you kind of just go sliding all the way back down, and it's really, really annoying. So taking a little slow and careful, and does end up collecting the star. Nice and easy. So Marlin will be heading into Honey Climb, following closely in the footsteps of Breadghost. Breadghost himself will be heading into the engine room, and to do so he will probably be using a maneuver that he himself discovered, the double Luma bounce. Here we go, he's going to try to get a bounce off of these two Lumas to jump right into the platform with the teleporter. Very nice. It saves about a second over just kind of like long jumping and maneuvering your way up to that platform manually. So, thank you, Breadghost, for your discovery. I tried to say that, like, as sincerely as possible. I apologize if that sounded sarcastic. Alright, Gold Leaf is a mirror of Honey Hive, at least in this sort of, like, starting level design. The actual levels are pretty different, for the most part. Including this first one here. Now, Marlin not going to be going for the Value trick. It's understandable. On Switch, it's especially dumb. I can say that with authority as a Switch runner. There's just all kinds of nonsense that happen. So we're going to see Breadghost taking a clockwise rotation around the starting planet, collecting these 5 blue star chips. These are necessary. Now, this clockwise rotation is going to be marked by another diagonal wall kick that he's going to be doing after he breaks open this crate over here on the right. He needs to do a diagonal wall kick in order to get up, which he lets it go too early. He spins too quickly, does not quite make the ledge, and that is going to be another death for Mr. Ghost. So opting to go for the anti-clockwise route, I don't blame him. Going counterclockwise isn't, like, even that much slower. Definitely safer. There's no chance of just, like, randomly dying about it. Well, I mean, I guess there always is, but it's not quite as in your face. Not quite angled correctly for a wall kick there. Instead of being able to take the Sling Star, you do have to take a wall kick, but you are granted enough height to make it if you just get the wall kick in the correct direction. And Breadghost this time around is going to get the 5th star chip. We're going to see him collecting a whole bunch of star bits here because we have another bunny to catch, and this bunny is easily caught if you're able to shoot star bits at it. So there goes Breadghost off to do that. It's a little bit hard to hit because the camera is not very forgiving in that regard, but he is able to hit it relatively quickly, and that is another star for Breadghost. The first one of the engine room, the first one of about 13, I think. No, 12. Wait, 5? 5 plus 4 plus 3 is 12, yes. I do indeed know how to count to 12. Alright, so that was Gold Leaf 1. Breadghost now has Gold Leaf 2. Probably the most annoying star in the engine room, I would say. At least if you're a 1P runner, like Breadghost and I are. Oh, Marlin mistiming his spin, bonking against the side of the pink platform and taking a death inside the dark matter. It's not the end of the world. The checkpoint is just behind him, so it's not a huge time loss. And Marlin landing in the dark matter, as I said. Those light blue squares will kill you. Oh, Breadghost, unfortunate piece of platforming there, taking a death in the void. Marlin having a little bit of trouble finding his footing here, taking a 3rd death at the pink platforms. The death cycles can be a little bit hard to navigate, but you know, you gotta figure it out. So here we have Breadghost going into a couple of very precise jumps. This first one, they usually want you to use a cataquack to get up to the cube. We just kind of don't. Then they want you to use a cataquack to get up to that M/lightning bolt, and we just kind of don't. Now, this one we do kind of have to use the cataquack because it's a little bit too high, but... And now, once again, Breadghost is going to have to utilize the B suit, much to at least my chagrin. I'm definitely not a fan of it. Here goes Marlin over to the plus. Let's see, he's just going to ride the auto-scroller, fair enough. And you can see Breadghost skipping the entire final planet, just flying his way on up to the flower, and we are good to go. I don't exactly know what Marlin is doing there, but he is able to get onto the L slightly faster, so fair enough, I will leave him to it. Breadghost moving back into Gold Leaf for the 3rd star. This one is very reminiscent of Honey Hive 2 in the sort of tower climbing stuff. And it's some very nice platforming, I believe. Marlin making his way over to Bowser. It's now his turn to do battle with the spinny lad. We're going to see Breadghost try to do a triple jump here. The camera's going to change quite violently, but Breadghost able to save it, get on top of that platform, nice and easy. And we're just going to start going very, very vertical, taking advantage of the spring to get up here. And now, when we take this vine, Breadghost is going to be trying to spin out of it before he gets to the end. Doesn't quite get it. Ideally, if you're able to spin out early, you can skip this animation, as well as pretty much disable the boss, but at the end of the day, it's only like a couple seconds, and a slightly easier boss fight. Not a big deal, all things considered. Breadghost taking a much ballsier approach than I tend to do. All is well. You can see Marlin running away Only spinning the last one, not wanting to tempt fate with any damage cancels or things like that. Oh, he also gets hit by the fire. Is he going to be able to save it? No, Bowser's going to go around for another lap. And that is the bedroom done for Marlin. Toy time now for Breadghost. My favorite galaxy. Maybe not for speedrunning, but just in terms of general aesthetics. Toy Time 1, though, is a really, really nice level for speedrunning in general. Lots of nice platforming. And then on this lat over here, Mecha Bowser, there's a really cool skip at the very end that allows you to climb up his body in a way that they did not intend, not by a long shot. So let's get going. Doot 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 doot. Yeah, these pink parts attract you to the wall, and sometimes they can be a little bit finicky about whether or not they want to accept you. Kind of awkward, but it happens. This is also the introduction to the Spring Mushroom, which is the worst power-up ever. And anybody who says that the blue shell is worse is objectively incorrect. Ooh, nearly getting murked by that Mecha Koopa, I think they're called. That would have been a bit of an awkward end to that. But Breadghost managing to recover. Ooh, having more issues. These guys are just coming out of the woodworks to mess with him, eh? Okay, Breadghost getting through it. No big deal. Alright, here we go. This is the Armpit Skip that Breadghost is going to be going for. As expected, you're going to be trying to climb up the Mecha Bowser's armpit. Like so, we're going to be doing some wall kicks off of his arms. Breadghost losing his footing there. Sometimes the walls behave kind of weird, and you just kind of stop wall kicking. Really, really annoying stuff, but able to recover is Breadghost, going in for another shot. He gets caught under the joint and has to go in for another try. I feel your pain, sir. A little bit too far away when he started that, has to go in for another attempt, but not too shabby after that. So yeah, Marlin going in for a similar set of stars that Breadghost did. We saw Breadghost do Gold Leaf 1, 2, 3. We're going to see Marlin also do Gold Leaf 1, 2, 3, but he's also going to stick around to do the other 2 stars of Gold Leaf. Breadghost will get to show off the Comet for Gold Leaf, which is the 3rd, I believe, Cosmic Clone race of the run. He's going to be utilizing the same sort of tree jump setup to make his way up. As you'll see here, if he's able to get it, then this race is kind of trivial. So let's take a look here. Marlin had a very nice bunny catch there, shooting it almost instantly and just walking right into it, all businesslike. Breadghost a little bit late on the A press. You want to press A within 5 frames of go appearing, otherwise you get a backflip like that. Or if you press it too early, you just get nothing, of course. Ooh, no backflip there for Breadghost. So he needs to improvise a little bit. Oh, spin bonking off. Needing to go in for another attempt. Can't get the wall kick. Breadghost pretty much has only one more attempt before the Cosmic Clone is going to finish the race and kill him. But he is able to get there in time, watching the Cosmic Clone come towards him. A little bit of BM there from Breadghost. You love to see it. Well, I mean, you don't love to see Breadghost suffer, but you love to see the attitude he's showing. Marlin's turn to take on Gold Leaf 2. Very annoying level. Opting to not take the Cataquack there, just going for a triple jump, just as fine. And now we'll need to see how many Cataquacks he's going to skip here. Looks like he's going to take... Never mind, he's going to get a nice triple jump. Spun a little bit too late. The angle you get off these really changes whether or not you're going to get into it, and I hope that Marlin is able to figure out what he's doing. There we go. He is onto the cube, getting a little tickle from the Goomba there. We're going to focus on Marlin just for a little bit because basically what Breadghost is going into is nothing more than an auto-scroller. So feel free to keep your eyes to the right for a little bit. Marlin is doing an actual level, albeit one you've already seen before. Another bonk from the Goomba. Hopefully he's going to get a coin here. Nope, we're just going to keep on going. What a trooper is Marlin. He's going. Alright, on to the Lightning Bolt planet, the M planet, whatever you want to call it. Started that triple jump a little bit too early, and a backflip is not going to be high enough to reach that bubble, unfortunately. You are going to have to do a triple jump at some point. Yeah, sorry, Marlin. This is not going to work out for you, sir. You can do a backflip off there. Sometimes. You need to be, like, on the very edge, though. He's instead going to take a death. Perhaps just trying to reset his health to 3. I'm not exactly sure what sort of benefit he's hoping to get from that, but... There we go. Now Marlin getting in position to do a triple jump. Now he can get the bee mushroom, and now he's good to go. Now he can just walk right on down, fly right on up to the flower, and we are good to go here. Just like that. So we had a little bit of time to watch Marlin suffer a little bit with a good Gold Leaf 2, which, I mean, we all have. In that time, Breadghost was able to finish up the auto-scroller. He's moving back over to Toy Time 2. Luigi meets Mario. You're going to be collecting some silver stars off of an 8-bit Mario. But first we gotta play with this thing. I have absolutely no idea what that's supposed to be. But there you go. Marlin's heading into Gold Leaf 3. As I said, Marlin's going to be doing Gold Leaf 1, 2, 3, and then I think Comet Secret, or Secret Comet. So he's going to be getting all of them. As for Breadghost, he's going to be getting Gold Leaf Secret as the very last star of the engine room, so he'll be back a little bit later. Making his way on over, collecting some star chips. This entire star is basically just a bunch of fetch quests. You start by collecting some star chips, and then you go by collecting some silver stars, and then the star. Interesting route here from Marlin. He's choosing to start the course at part of the way up. And he's going to ride the clouds. So yeah, this part is a little bit slow just because you lose a lot of your movement options now that you've switched to the bee mushroom. But Marlin perhaps taking a tactical bath there. That is a term I never thought I'd have to coin, but here we are. BM means bad manners. It's like disrespect. Breadghost is too wholesome for us. Doesn't even know what BM is. What would we do without Breadghost? Marlin making his way on up to the boss fight. Going on in there. I believe now Breadghost is going to do the most physically taxing part of the run. That being C-Slide. Yep. So C-Slide 1 is nothing more than an auto-scroller. C-Slide 2 is an actual test of your arm strength. Because here, Breadghost is going to be doing a lap around the planet, I guess, using a technique called surface swimming, which is going to involve a lot of shaking. Marlin not quite getting that jump he wanted. He's into the spikes. He's down to 1 health. He's on the last phase of the fight. Who's going to win first? Is it going to be the... It's the spikes. The spikes win. Very unfortunate, but you do spawn right at the bottom, so no big deal. Breadghost immediately getting the surface swim, and you're going to see that cursor of his flying across the screen because he is shaking that Wii Remote as hard as he possibly can. You really just need to spam the Wii Remote, and now he's underwater. You're doing some regular spin swimming. Because there is no cooldown on your spin, you're just going to be swimming for as long as possible. Getting a sort of surface swim there is Breadghost. It's not the technique that I tend to see, but it is also somewhat viable, provided you can avoid the bonk on the crystal on the rock. And now Breadghost is going to be trying to set up another surface swim. He gets its second try. Ooh, catching the edge of the shoreline, going a little bit too far to the right, but immediately picking it back up again. Very resilient stuff here. Going right back to it. And he's going to cruise to the finish line in under 53 seconds. Bachelor of Music. You're our BM, Breadghost. The BM is doing some BM. Howdy, Heflex. You know it. We are all about the spicy commentary around here. So I think Marlin is off to do Goldleaf Secret now. Yep. This is the level that Breadghost will be ending the engine room with in a little bit from now. It's fairly straightforward. It's just using the bubble again. If you all remember the bubble from all the way back in Bubble Breeze. That was about an hour ago now, so I don't blame you. But it plays a song. I think it plays the underwater theme from Super Mario Bros. 1. Slightly different version of it. Marlin missing a couple of the notes. It's very tricky to get like an optimal pattern here, going super fast while collecting all the notes, so no big deal there. Breadghost heading into the 4th and final Cosmic Clone run of the game. This one is yet another lap around C-Slide. That's kind of why C-Slide's not a very interesting level. All 3 of the stars that we do are just do a lap, or in this case, like do 2/3 of a lap, maybe 1/2 of a lap. Either way, this one also involves surface swimming. Breadghost getting it immediately, swimming his way around. As you can imagine, after just doing C-Slide 2, which involved shaking for about a minute, going right into this, you can imagine that it's a little bit physically taxing. Catching the edge of the sign there, losing access to his long jumping, but still able to slide his way on over there. I should send a message into the SpeedGaming people to upgrade, or to change the command to also include the bracket. Maybe I should post the bracket for your viewing pleasure. Marlin's turn to do the Gold Leaf race, getting the starting boost. He's going to choose to go all the way around. Understandable. The tree skip is kind of annoying with that camera. Oh, Breadghost accidentally entering... Okay, a lot of mistakes are being made here. Marlin dying, Breadghost entering the wrong star. Me needing to take a drink of water. Marlin having a little bit of trouble with his movement there. He's able to keep up with Cosmic Luigi, but Cosmic Luigi actually runs a super tight line. So playing against him on the course can be a little bit tricky. But Marlin doing a good job of using Cosmic Luigi for actual momentum. Catching the edge of the ledge there. Missing out on a jump. It's going to be real close, but thankfully Cosmic Luigi is very light on the long jumps. So Marlin is able to overtake him in the end and collect the star. Now that Breadghost has moved into the proper star, he's going to be off doing Toy Time Secret. We're going to be doing 2 stars in this general location, the aptly named Flip Switch Chain, because it's a chain and there's flip switches on it. You can see Breadghost going into first-person mode there. He wanted to look at the Flip Switch Chain so that the cycles were advanced ever so slightly. He wanted to move these Tox boxes ahead so that he could make that cycle. Now, the 120 runner in him is, of course, still grabbing even more star bits. A little bit slow in the draw, so he's not quite able to make the second Tox boxes, but this third one should be doable. Yes, sir, and he's in and out like the burgers. Does that joke make any sense? I don't know. So now that the Tox boxes are over, we have the more annoying red spiked things. I don't know what they're called. They're just annoying, that's what they're called. Going to be trying to beat them back there. He does get so. And that is all of the flip switches. That's a star. Now, as I said, we're going to be doing this twice because the Toy Time Comet takes place here as well. Alright, so Marlin's off in an auto-scroller. So, as per usual, when somebody's on an auto-scroller, I would like to direct you to the other player's screen. So Breadghost going to be doing the flip switch chain again, but the Fast Foe Comet, this is the last Comet of the run. And as expected, the Fast Foe Comet will be making the Tox boxes and the red spiky lads move twice as fast. As you can see, they are very, very high velocities. So let's see how Breadghost is able to handle these added complications. It's honestly not too difficult, because if you miss the cycles, they're ready again in like 4 seconds, but if you're a top level runner and you're trying to get like a good time, it can be very difficult to match your splits sometimes. Breadghost going for a very spicy cycle here. He's just able to get out of the Tox box's range. That is super juicy stuff. Having a little bit of issue getting bounced around between the 2 spiked lads. They are a bit of a pain. Thankfully, Breadghost able to handle the complications for the time being. Ooh, getting another poke. There are plenty of coins around here, so Breadghost is not in danger of dying. But you gotta imagine he's a little bit nervous. And that will do it. That is the flip switch chain all finished up. That is all of the stars in Toy Time. And as I said, Breadghost will be finishing off the engine room with the secret star in Gold Leaf. We saw Marlin collect it. It was the bubble star. Nothing too much to say about that, but, you know, let's get it out of the way. It's now Marlin's turn to do battle with the Cosmic Clone in Seaslide. I assume Marlin will be taking it somewhat safer, and instead of going for surface swimming, we'll probably be trying to grab a red shell. It's actually kind of difficult to beat Cosmic Luigi like that because he also grabs a red shell, so you kind of have to be, like, actually careful. But, to each their own. Breadghost, definitely a 120 player at heart, collecting as many starbits as he can. I think he has like 1,500 at this point. A little bit too low, passing under the peak. Gonna miss a couple of them. I wonder what what the optimal tempo is to collect those notes at so that you hear the song as close to the original as possible. I wonder if we can get Purple Sun on making a task of that. The most aesthetically pleasing music note section. So that Breadghost finishing up the engine room. Despite his mistakes, he still commands about a 5-star lead over Marlin. And now heading on over to the sand spiral. What? Okay, so Breadghost at this point obviously just could not care less, so he's going to have a little bit of fun. He's going to do sand spiral instead of drip drop. Most aesthetically pleasing and then missed the final note. Well, Heflex woke up and chose violence today, apparently. Alright, so Breadghost doing a star that you only see in 120. Not necessarily optimal, but at this point, who cares? So, you know, I appreciate the jovialness of Breadghost now. He's opting to do it with the bee mushroom even. Now, the bee mushroom is actually a lot harder than the boo mushroom. I think everyone prefers to do it with the boo mushroom. Yeah, too, sand spiral. Breadghost has about a 5-star lead right now, so I guess it's just kind of whatever. I don't know, I dig it. Don't get hit by the battery, you'll die. Alright, I do not know what Breadghost is doing anymore, so I will stop trying to make predictive commentary. Is he at least going to go back to the kitchen? Is he going to go back and do a buoy base? Or is he just going to mess around and do some other stars for fun? Alright, it looks like he probably... Yes? Yes, okay. Hey, Breadghost, why don't you do a Ghostly 3? That'd be funny, I think. No? Okay. He's going to take it somewhat seriously now. So, buoy base is actually in the run. So we're going to get to a star that you should actually be doing. Thank you, Breadghost. You can get somewhat back on track here. As Marlin starts his adventure in Toy Time. As we saw earlier, this level has a lot of cool platforming and that very difficult skip at the end. I don't know where Marlin is going. Where's Good Egg 3? It's already part of the route. Good Egg 3 was the 4th star he did. Get with the times, old man. Sorry, that was toxic. Alright, so Buoy Base 3 has, no, not Buoy Base 3, Buoy Base 1 has a little bit of interesting movement here. It doesn't start until you get out of the water section kind of speaks for itself. And then we get some very nice platforming up the tower, getting a nice bonk off the Pinkok Toomba. And we're just going to mosey on our way up here using the upwards momentum to get a little bit of extra height. And up to the top we go. Now here we get a nice little tower skip where if you manage to spin at the same time as you hit the spring, you can sort of get 2 jumps here. Now Breadghost is going to be trying to set that up. It's a little bit tight. You want to spin like just before you touch the spring to ensure you get like a double bounce sort of thing. And Breadghost having about as much trouble as I used to have on this. At the very start of my speedrunning career, I was very bad at that trick, and it actually has become somewhat of a meme in the SMG community. Fun times had by all. So Marlin going to be going for a slightly safer version of the trick. He's going to be heading up onto the chest of the beast, where he can make a safer jump over to the left arm. It avoids having to deal with the janky wall kicking that you have to do off the left thigh. It's a little bit slower, but definitely more reliable overall. You can make your way right up into the sort of crook of the elbow. And, oh, misplacing the wall kick just a little bit there. You can still do the trick in its entirety. Rather than having a little bit of issues. And he's back where he started. Okay. He'll figure it out. The wall jumping here is really annoying. But there we go. Marlin's up. Breadghost heading on into Buoy Base Secret, the second Buoy Base star. This is the only galaxy in the game that has 2 stars in it. Kind of interesting. It's a very similar pattern as the Battle Rock 1 and L and Megaleg, just luring a bullet bill into this cage. There he goes. Busted it open. There's a star for you. Right at about the same time that Marlin gets Toy Time 1. So now Breadghost has 59 stars. I'm curious if he's actually going to go all the way back and do Honey Hive Luigi, or if he's going to do something even more spicy. It looks like he's on his way out, so he's probably going to go talk to Luigi. He's not going to go so crazy that he's going to do like a million different stars, but he is so crazy that he's just going to try to jump into the abyss. Try to stay on the observatory for at least a little bit longer, please. We do still need you, Mr. Ghost. Or can I call you Bread? We're all friends here, yeah? Alright, so Breadghost only willing to substitute 1 level in his speedrun. Understandable. So I believe Marlin is on his way to go do Toy Time Secret, so he's going to be collecting 50 star bits here. I forgot to mention that during Breadghost's section. He needs 50 star bits to feed the Hungry Luma. That's chilling up here. Alright, and that is the 60th star for Mr. Breadghost. And with that, Breadghost is ready to go face the final Bowser. Marlin having a little bit of trouble getting it into the sort of inside of the flip switch chain. You do need like a well-placed long jump to do so, just because gravity is really weird. Backflips are not going to cut it. There we go. Marlin is on. Now, as soon as Breadghost gets over to Bowser 3, we will be focusing on him, of course, because this is the last level of the game. Breadghost needs to collect 1 more star, and then he has finished the speedrun, which I am sure he is very pleased about. I don't think any of us want to be playing this game less than Breadghost right now. A little bit of a bonk there from Marlin. We'll call that a damage boost and call it a day. Alright, so we'll see how how Breadghost is feeling if he wants to go for an early cycle here. If you get some very precise movement on this opening sort of platforming section, you can make a nice early cycle that saves a few seconds. There will be beams that'll be shooting gravity, as you'll see as soon as we get in here. So those circles on the wall, those are gravity sections that'll pull you into the wall. And as I say, there's a cycle that you want to hit. An unfortunate bonk there, sending Breadghost into the abyss. That happens sometimes. No big deal. Get back up and try again. Yeah, not quite able to make it. It's a little too far gone there. There is a way you can jump out of that one. There you go. Breadghost making the best of it. Now there's an invisible wall just behind him here that he needs to take a very slight wall jump over, or long jump around, excuse me, I should say. This part is just skating, nothing big. And then the next section as well, it can be cleared with one long jump to the right. So there's not too much to say there. Breadghost doing exactly that. And then after a quick 2D section, which has a couple of precise wall kicks and such, we're going to be heading into the infamous cave. Now this cave here, very difficult part to do well. It has ended many a run. I'm curious if Breadghost is going to be going for the fast Giselle cave movement. He is indeed. This is a semi-blind series of long jumps. As you can see, the camera's taking a long time to catch up. But in the end, he is able to jump with 1 health, land on that moving platform, collect this coin, and he is good to keep going. That saves about 5 seconds over the conventional cave movement, and is, of course, a lot more riskier. As you can see, that camera took a long time to catch up with him. But Brett goes through it with relative ease. He's looking at a low 238 finish right now. So let's hope he's able to finish this one out strong. Marlin is into Toy Time 2. He's on the last star of the engine room. Ah, Breadghost. Such beautiful stairs. Buttery smooth. Love it. Marlin is going the wrong way. He's already been up here. Yeah, Marlin, you want to be going to the big screw, my dude. The last star chip you need is on the big screw. Try not to get electrocuted, because it will kill you. Alright. Breadghost starts the final fight. This fight has 3 separate phases. In this first one, Bowser's going to try to rock your world a little bit. And of course he's got a big old weakness, that being his dumb, stupid face. Sorry, that was toxic. Nice little damage cancel from Breadghost there, or a spin cancel I should say, not a damage cancel, to make sure Bowser gets up a little bit earlier. And then it's a nice little quick couple of spins to send him over to the next phase. The second phase here is even simpler. We can use these bulbs to hit him without Bowser even getting a chance to do anything. So, like that. Mistiming the spin a little bit there. Not quite getting the bulb onto him. And now the final phase here for Breadghost is the exact same as conventional fights, in the sense that he's going to try to stomp you. There are a little bit more involved bits and pieces here. We're going to be doing a damage cancel on one of these rings, on this third ring specifically. The cancel is rolling attack. And then he stomps right onto the blue. Very nice. Fast strat? No. A little too slow. Breadghost was trying to be launched back into a fireball in order to immediately cancel the spin attack, but it is a very, very precise window. Kind of impossible to hit unless you're, you know, really, really precise on that timing. Missing a couple. Thankfully, Bowser is very generous with how much he wants to run around. And that is it for Breadghost. 2:38.25, I think he's looking at. Definitely not the run he was looking for, but it will be sufficient to win the race. And I suppose at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Big ol' question mark at the end. $2:38.26. And with that, Breadghost is the winner. Officially. So, Breadghost, if you want to come in here and talk, you can. If you'd rather not, I understand it after that. Breadghost moving on, immediately opening up Sunshine, understandable. That is definitely the better game to him. Breadghost does love his Sunshine. Alright, Marlin, it looks like he's going to be collecting the star chips here. He's not going to be going for the star chip skip. Unless he is. No, he is not. Hey, Breadghost.
Hi.
So...
yeah, I kind of stopped caring after the 8 deaths in Slingpot.
Yeah, that didn't seem like your best performance.
Yeah, I don't know what happened in this run. I think a lot of it's momentum. Like, if I start really bad, like I miss the launch on Good Egg 2, I'm like, okay, that's fine. Then I miss Honey, I have 1 skip, I'm like, okay. Then I die 8 times in Slingpod, then I just can't. I can't find momentum after that, and typically that means the run goes pretty bad, so...
Yeah, I guess it's not like you have too much experience continuing a run after you die 8 times in Singpod. I don't think too many people continue those kinds of runs. Unless you're grinding, of course. Just start at grinding, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that was. Yeah, that and, what was it? Gusty Garden 3 seems to be the other one you, couldn't really figure out for a while.
Yeah, a lot of the problems I'm having really have to do with, like, hardware, I think. Like, since coming back to try and de-rust, which I haven't really been trying since I've been having hardware issues. Since coming back, I've just had issues where spins have been delayed, and I can't seem to shake hard enough to get nunchuck spins when I need them. Like, I don't know if it's just I'm not used to it anymore, or it's just the hardware. But I feel like, I don't know, I'm having a lot of trouble with those things. So.
Yeah, understandable. I know that when I switched to the Wii, I also had a lot of trouble with nunchuck spins in general.
That's the thing too, though, is I have that same problem with the Switch version. I can't seem to get spins out. So I don't know, maybe my arm's just weak now. So.
Yeah, need to hit the gym, eh?
Yeah, definitely.
Fair enough. Well, the nightmare is over. You can go back to playing the good game if you'd rather. you don't have to play this for another couple of weeks until until Ginkgo.
Yeah. Maybe I'll actually rest a little bit more for Ginkgo.
I would expect so, because did you see he got a PB today?
I did, yes.
So you're not gonna have quite as much of a cushion against him, I'm afraid.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, this run I was just kind of like, you know what? If I'm gonna just suck today, I might as well have fun. I don't mean it to be toxic or anything. It's just I don't know. If I'm on that bad of a pace, I'm just gonna be upset if I'm not trying to have fun with it a little bit. That's why I did Sand Spiral with the B. It was like, you just might as well.
Yeah, if it makes you feel better, I think you still got a faster time than Jay.
Dang.
So, you know, there you go. You're bopping the world record holder. Does that feel?
What happened to Jay?
Jay... Okay, so Jay got the crash in Good Egg 2. You know that 2P one where you kind of mess around with Polari?
I didn't know about that until like 2 days ago. So I know about 2P. So
yeah, so he did that, and then he just kept on dying like literally everywhere. Like he died in Hurry Scurry. He failed, I think, the Beach Bowl 3 and Beach Bowl Comet jump at least once each. It was an absolute nightmare of a run.
dang.
So
What did the time come out as?
2:38.
See.
Oh, I need to break out the calculator. He put the time on the leaderboard in seconds, so I need to. Can I just Google this? Seconds to hours.
Oh, is that why it's all screwed up?
Yeah, they put their times in seconds. I don't understand why, but whatever.
Yeah, like I was in a VC for some of it, and I was telling them like, oh yeah, like usually like when I come back, so I usually do us pretty quickly, but lately like every time I've come back to this game, I felt like my personal VRusting has been incredibly slow, and I just get demotivated way too fast. But it didn't used to be like that. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older, because I'm playing other games, or what. But...
Fair enough. Well, I hope you're able to at least find some modicum of motivation.
I hope so too.
Because, you know, us 1P runners, we gotta stick together, you know? We're all alone in this field.
For sure. I'll get there. Just motivate myself.
Alright, we got Marlin just finishing up his last star here before he gets to take on the third Bowser. So this match is almost at its conclusion. But I need to take a break from talking because I've been talking for 2.5 hours, and I need lots of water.
These matches are hard to commentate. Definitely. They're just so long. They drag on forever. Especially if you're not used to like long commentary.
Yeah, doing it solo has certainly been quite the experience.
You're doing great. I enjoyed listening.
Alright, Marlin, let's finish strong, yeah?
Alright. Let's go.
Yeah, your stream audio is a little bit off. I'm not exactly sure how to fix that. I don't know if I can fix that aside from just volume, but whatever.
Yeah, I do have a little bit of motivation to play Galaxy though, as I am running it for 1345, restricted 80% in February, so I'll have to play it for that.
Right on.
For sure, so don't want to go 238 in that.
No, I can assume not.
Go, Luigi.
into the final level here. What kind of shots Marlin goes for? Ooh, interesting.
Oh, that's not what you want to see.
Ooh, yep.
Oh yeah, Breadghost, you should have access to the restream bot if you want to have slightly less delay.
Oh yeah. I assume that it's pitched. A little bit of struggle here at the beginning. Beginning section definitely pretty difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Muscle memory for it.
Yeah, the very start and the very end of this are probably the make or breaks of this third stage, third Bowser.
Mm-hmm. The middle planet's kind of usually the same every time, as long as you know what you're doing.
He's having a little bit of trouble getting the wall kick. Also trying for that fire boost, not quite going to get there. Hello, SpeedGaming 4. I assume that means the Flygon and Benny match is over. Welcome, welcome, Raiders. You are coming in for the tail end of the match between Breadghost and Marlin. Breadghost is already finished with a 238 something. Marlin just coming up to the end here. Looking to be on about 254 pace-ish. So this will be the last race of round number 1. I should probably post the bracket again, just so that everyone can take a little looky at that. You can get an idea of the upcoming matches over the next couple of weeks. Marlin coming into this phase on 1 health, definitely not where you want to be. This is very difficult to get through damageless, but he is managing to do so, and just barely gets into the last gravity, just by the skin of his teeth.
I think you get invisibility frames in the last gravity field, and that is, you just get pulled through without getting hit. And you will get the 2 coins to be safe.
That is not what you want to do. Barely making it back onto the moving platform. Where is he going?
No.
It looked like he was trying to get back onto the bullet bill launcher, but just did not have anywhere near enough momentum. Oh, that bullet bill's coming. Thankfully, they're going to crash into each other. All is well.
Very dodgy. Alright. I'm not being damaged with shots here. Oh, I'm just really on the launcher there. That's good. A little better.
Breadghost, you sound kind of muffled. Is there anything on your mic?
No, I'm just talking to quiet mumbling, I think.
Fair enough. Alright, final Bowser fight here for Marlin at long last. The run is about to come to a close. Grabbing the life mushroom is not at all a bad idea here. If you die on this fight, you lose like 3 minutes, so better safe than sorry, especially at this point you just want the run to end.
Yeah, and many a person has died on this fight, including myself.
Trying to think, I probably have at some point.
I died here in an 80% Mario on like 2-minute PV pace once. Pretty painful.
Yep, I can imagine.
I think I got past that and then just got killed.
Alright, let's see how quickly Marlin's going to be able to break open this rock. Very good. Sorry, Marlin. I'm not trying to be toxic, I promise. It's been a very long day for me as well. Oh, having a little bit of trouble. Bowser rolling over the bulb.
Alright, on the final phase.
Yeah, Bowser's directions are kind of unpredictable sometimes. He can be all over the place. It's going to take a couple of rotations to get to him.
You kind of have to, like... You get better at, like, estimating where he's going to end up as you get better at the game.
Mm-hmm.
Even, like,
Yeah, just...
as we saw in my run, it was, like, still pretty hard for me to find him.
Yeah, sometimes you're able to see through the planet when he turns around and picks a random direction, but it can be a little bit tricky sometimes.
I kind of, like, I feel like it's, like, a camera thing. You kind of watch the camera, and it's, like... Depending on how the camera moves, you can kind of tell where he's going to end up. You just kind of learn that as you play the game more.
Yeah, I think I can agree with that.
And there we go. Ooh.
Yeah, Toogs, Breadghost is in here as well.
What did I get? Like a 238.27 or something? I don't remember. So, let's see. Marlin will face Mr. Arska in the next round. GG Marlin. Okay. Marlin will be joining us.
Alrighty, and with that, the match is officially over. Marlin, you should have been sent a DM from SpeedGaming bot, so join up whenever is convenient.
What was the time on that? I didn't see it.
I think I saw 2:55:52, but that's a lot of 2s and 5s, so maybe that's just convenient for me. Oh no, it was 2:55. 2:55:52. I was right.
Alright.
Woohoo!
Yay! And I have updated the scores on SpeedGaming. Not SpeedGaming, on Challenge. Anyway. You can get a DM.
No DM, eh? Alright.
Holy cow, this cutscene looks amazing on All Stars.
We will do this manually.
There it is. Hello.
Hello, Marlin.
That was rough. That was
I
hard.
feel you. I feel you, man.
That's the first time I've touched this game since June, so honestly not too upset.
Same, pretty much.
It's good to hear that absolutely nobody had fun today. That's what you love to see. We do enjoy a little bit of misery around here in our speedrunning. So yeah, Marlon, anything exceptional happened this run? Heard you did get a couple of golds, yeah?
I golded one split by 5 seconds. I don't even remember what. I don't know how. Also, did you like that 454 gateway? That was something.
I have seen worse.
I was actually closer than I thought I would be. I thought I was gonna get blown out by like 40 minutes and like not even get a sub 3, so.
Oh no, I haven't played the game in so long. No, I had a 410 gateway and then like an okay good egg 1, and then I missed the launch turn good egg 2, and everything was downhill from there.
Yeah, I thought I was actually doing pretty well, like up until like halfway through bedroom, and then it spiraled out from there. Like I was actually like within like 3 or 4 minutes, which I was happy with, and then the rest of the run just did not do well.
Yeah, I think I saw you having a little bit of issue with Freeze Flame 3 especially. I saw at least one death there.
Yeah, that was some. Yeah, that was weird. I don't know how that happened. I just walked off the edge. And, okay.
Yeah, that's how Freeze Flame 3 works, not gonna lie.
I'm used to autosave because I can actually save stuff with Cappy, so it's like playing an older game like Galaxy where I can't really save myself is a bit weird at times.
Fair enough. So, I guess for the both of you, since neither of you have especially derusted yet, any plans for future sort of short-term improvements?
I
Get
might
back into
try
form?
and I might try and PB. I mean, I'm 12 minutes off sob, so it shouldn't be that hard. PB was still alive going into Gold Leaf 2, I think. I still had like a 248 PBT, so that says a lot about my PB.
I have no desire to grind this game, but I'm willing to try and get back to the level I was at when I stopped.
Yeah, at least something under 238 level.
Yeah, I'd like to get back at least to like getting 228s regularly again. 'Cause I used to get 228s like pretty much every run, and I hated them. But now I'm like so rusty, I can't even get that anymore. So at least there.
Yeah, I'll probably end up prepping more for my next race, considering I got on my Switch at like 7:30 and like 30 minutes before the race and did like 6 stars and called it good. So
Fair enough.
I might try and do some more runs, maybe some no resets, try and PB something. Maybe I have plans to run this game at least one more time. Like towards this coming summer. I want to do 540. That's a long ways off, so we'll see.
Fair enough. So neither of these players are done yet. I will throw the bracket in chat one more time. I will not post the SpeedGaming Discord server. That would be a terrible mistake. Let's instead throw in the challenge link. That would be much better. There we go. So neither of these two players are done yet. Both of them continue along in their group. Breadghost will be moving on to face Ginkabor, who you saw win earlier. The winner of that will be among the winners of their group. Marlon will be going on to face Mr. Arska, who has about a 239 PB, so you'll definitely have your work cut out for you. But I wish you both all the best, and best of luck in your upcoming matches. Alrighty. Otherwise, that is it for us tonight. That is the conclusion of the last match. Starting very soon, we're going to have the bracket updated. We're going to have round 2 pairings begin scheduling as soon as possible. So there will be lots more Super Mario Galaxy action going on the SpeedGaming channels over the next couple of weeks. So if you want more Galaxy, you know where to go. Runners, any more final comments before we leave?
Good race.
Sorry for memeing.
And also apologies for playing so poorly. I probably should have de-rested more than 30 minutes.
I should apologize for playing so. I was what 14 minutes off TV. Anyway, yeah, GG.
Right.
Good night, everybody.
Alrighty.
Good night.
Thank you all for watching. See you next time.